the 30s when you were growing up? I don't...
It is not a new show, let's put it that way. My dad is gonna absolutely love that one, and I have no doubt that it was King Monkey, Rob Manic Monday himself. So I know he's cooking this stuff up in the background. I am a little amazed to see that Team Secret actually has the lead in the community poll, because not only is Shopify Rebellion a big organization, and obviously everybody knows these players. They were formerly on Sonics, now they play under Shopify Rebellion. Sonics as an org seems to have completely disappeared.
Yes.
Not only did they lose a bunch of their teams in other esports, but then they announced that they weren't going to be sticking around Rainbow Six. I don't even know if they have a PUBG team anymore.
They do not.
I think the org is completely gone, which is obviously a bit upsetting. Their PUBG team was phenomenal.
No, for real. I mean, they were very, very, very good. Best in the world.
But my point about the community poll that I will now loop back into, because sometimes I take a while to get to my point, I'm sure you've probably noticed this, chat, is that Secret are not the most popular team in Europe. I wouldn't even say they're a top 3 most popular team in Europe. So it's not like they're all of a sudden getting all these votes from people who just love Team Secret.
Yep.
I think it's a combination of the fact that yesterday, if I may use this term, NA was kind of dog meat. I believe is the term I'd like to use. Shopify Rebellion looked like the best team of them all, though. They put up quite a clinic against FaZe Clan, and that matchup could have gone either way. And alas, it ended up with the Brazilians winning. NA's been on a real revenge tour today.
They have.
Winning a ton. Can Shopify Rebellion keep that up, or do they run headfirst into the European wall that is Team Secret?
Well, we'll have to find out, and our first map is Clubhouse, which of course was chosen by Shopify Rebellion. Bans coming in with Team Secret taking out Blitz and Kaid, and Shopify banning the same operators they banned yesterday when they played Clubhouse in Maverick and Zombie. I know it says that Shopify banned Kaid and Blitz. Trust me on this, that's wrong. You see at the top of your screen there. It's actually Secret that took out Blitz and Kaid, which is a little bit odd because Team Secret are known to be the shield team inside of Europe. We saw them through Stage 2 and through the Montreal Major, abusing Monty and Blitz to get a lot of big rounds in the European League. But since the nerfs, obviously, a lot of teams have kind of moved away from playing as many shields as they used to. Blackbeard has maybe moved into that place for the meta, and certainly for Canadian, that will be the case. Maybe the Monty, we'll see where he ends up. But at the same time, I believe it was earlier on in Stage 2 where we saw Canadian having massive impact on Clubhouse on the Blitz. So that shows to me that Team Secret have done their homework. Canadian has a ridiculous win rate on Blitz throughout the season. So not surprising to see that taken off the board. It does make sense when you dive deeper into it. We'll start on the bottom floor. It's a pretty roam-heavy setup from Secret, with Savage and Joom holding down the top floor, Virtue and Groovy on the main floor, and Adrian alone down there in the bomb sites. Canadian has opted for the Monty as well for this pick, so I assume the Monty's eventually going to go maybe dirt tunnel, maybe down through oil pit, blue, not sure where he wants to head, but it's going to start with a full map clear. They've got Ambi on the Dokkaebi, and they want to get as much of this map control as they can before they look towards the site.
Down goes Groovy to Grixer, who is very, very far outside of the building. That is an odd engagement, just based on distance, but, I mean, Groovy does tend to get quite aggressive.
Yeah.
He's one of the players that we will see with relatively limited fear when it comes to this Secret roster. It's enough to stabilize the round for the time being.
They're not far, though. You're ready for a gunfight as Canadian starts to walk in, force these players back. There goes Joom. Running as he sees the Montaigne, making sure he can get back towards his teammates. Might be luring them into a false sense of security. They don't know Savage is over here in Gym. Could be an opportunity here.
Oh, they trade. Well, not themselves, but Virtue's still alive to take down what remains of Surf. His entry over towards stage is greeted by the players from Team Secret as Canadian backs away on a shield op, as he probably will be for much of this matchup. Savage is distracted by the mountain, and now through the soft wall, he takes quite a bit of damage, almost gets Canadian. Meanwhile, he loses Virtue not far away. Savage is the only one holding them at bay for the time being. Joom is also upstairs, which means that the bomb site is completely clear.
Yeah.
Until we just saw Grixer spy Joom and Savage.
Rexon's there.
Heading for the hills. Rexon inside the bomb site, takes out what remains of Joom. Savage is on a single point of HP. Is he dead in the water? Bullets going over top of him. Diffuser going down and entering back into the bomb site from the hallway. Multiple sets of eyes looking at the cross. Not dead in the water, Jesse. He's dead in the basement of Clubhouse. Shopify Rebellion with round number 1.
Simple one. Closed out on that roam clear. Everybody left the basement.
Thanks, Troy. Yeah, you know me, Troy. Like, say something. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. What are we doing? Sorry, Troy. We're not talking again.
You're not allowed to say that on television.
Well, they have their
Oh,
fun.
here come the fines. That's 50 grand every swear word, by the way.
That's factual. Yeah.
Little known fact about Rainbow Six players. A lot of them don't even get paid 50 grand a year. It's a terrible thing to happen, really. You know, just... You get fined once and you're in the poorhouse. There's nothing you can do about it.
We spent the vast majority of that round watching Canadian walk through the top couple of floors. But it was really the basement where Sonics were able to hit and take that map control. First round I did it. That's unfortunate. It's really the basement where Shopify were able to find a lot of those picks. Of course, making it in through dirt, making it in through blue, with Secret completely abandoning the bomb site for that defense. It wasn't hard for the Rebellion to grab control of it. Oh boy. With Rebellion obviously having that map control and then Canadian up above distracting so many of those players, it really did feel like they were in control the whole time, start to finish, and a beautifully executed push altogether. I was a little worried with Secret coming into this that it would pose a big challenge to the Rebellion because Secret, we haven't seen them since Montreal. The operators they used to rely on got nerfed, so presumably their playstyle is going to change a bit. And I was worried for a team like Rebellion, who like to counter-strat, who like to get their information, who's got great support staff in Super and the rest of the analysts they have working with them, as well as Canadian, the IGL, that maybe that lack of information, the fact that Secret did not play yesterday would hinder them. But I don't know, it felt like they knew exactly what was going on that first round.
You think about what happened in yesterday's matchup against FaZe Clan. There wasn't any severe deficiencies that we saw from Shopify Rebellion, right? But it was a relatively even matchup between both teams. Obviously, you're going to commit some mistakes. Canadian and his teams have earned the title, or rather, he's earned the title of comedian from time to time. Hold on a second here. We're a minute into the round. Joom is dead. Groovy is on a single point of HP. There goes Ambi to Savage, as there's a flank up blue stairs from Adrian towards Secret. He thinks otherwise. Point is that when mistakes are made by Canadian's team, they seemingly get a much larger spotlight.
For sure.
I think that's because he's a big personality. Same thing happened with that old G2 roster when Fabian was on the team. Logic bombs go out. Savage sees Grixer. How does he win that fight? He doesn't survive Canadian on the rooftop, though, off of a shield onto the Capitao, and now things will again equalize. 3v3. Rexen 3-0, and they've got great vision inside of the site. He might be able to capitalize off of this. He wants to deal with the mute, just waiting for his feet to appear, but I don't think he's going to get it. Here, Groovy burns out. The gunfire couldn't get it done. The objectives will. Virtue and Adrian is the last two alive. All this action might have you thinking it's a cash CCTV take. It's not. The bomb site's over at Gym Bedroom.
Yeah, heavy extension. Groovy wasted a good amount of time, honestly. He's been 1 HP for the last 2 minutes, finally taken down by the Capitao bolts. Where does this push end up coming from the Rebellion? They're going to move over to Jacuzzi. Player on the window. This could be a big pick, but it's Adrian's instead, but traded.
It's all up to Virtue. He's shown what he can accomplish. He's the oldest player here at the tournament, one of the most experienced as well. He's gone all around the world with his gameplay, and he's on a great operator for taking multiple engagements. Smoke with that SMG-11 and shotgun, especially the gadgetry that's brought, of which he has none left, though. And take 2 fights simultaneously. Rexen will have Diffuser. It'll all be down to Surf to watch this. And Virtue has the daunting task of walking through the door back into bedroom. Diffuser going down. It's just out of reach, so he has to take a duel with somebody inside a bathroom. He knows they're there. The timer will begin to run as he inches his way around. Down goes Surf inside of shower. And now through the barricade, Rexen will escape very narrowly. Virtue sitting on that Diffuser. Rexen moving back into this position. Virtue sticking it, hops off, and Rexen wins it in a scary 50-50 that breaks in favor of the North Americans.
Work these rounds, guys. Work these rounds. I should have baited the initial peek on the German guy. just like.
Okay, yo, care for the flank. They laid double flank.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was honestly crazy. He was ready for you and not me. That was like stomping on the fucking metal.
Careful of the valves, guys.
What happened? Wait, what did he say?
Some game chat going on inside the server. Don't worry too much about it. We've got a couple of great rounds to start off from Rebellion, right? 2-0, clean start to this game. This second round, it really came down to that cash extension. They got so many picks over and around CCTV and cash. You would be forgiven for thinking that might have been the bomb site. That move from Grixer almost caught me off guard too, and I have top-down POV. How he managed to get in behind the cash extension almost caused problems. They did shut it down, but again, the ability to distract the teammates from that, pull the attention away from the brunt of that push that was coming in through rafters, coming into the main breach. That was really what kind of closed things down for the Rebellion, got them that man advantage, and then of course in the 1v1, Rexon's so good as well. Got that defuse kit down, he picked the perfect plant position. They were aware of approximately where Virtue was. They knew he was around main stairs, could have gone jacuzzi, but chose to plant on that single panel, single reinforced wall inside of gym and then outside the building. Played it perfect. So well done, Rexon, off to a 5-0 start. Things you love to see if you're a North American Rainbow Six Siege fan. And we will continue the full site rotation as Team Secret choose CCTV and Cash for their third bomb site.
This is where most of the action happened in the previous round, but the way that you'll go about opening this up is completely different. 30 seconds in, and Surf is already using one exothermic charge to put some pressure on these players inside a garage. Now, what does pressure mean in this particular instance? Well, usually when you play up on those rafters, you're going to bring something with you. Maybe it's an Azami, who will always be banned by Canadian's team, so you're never going to see her. The bans are swapped around in this instance. But usually you're going to need some level of protection. If not, you're going to play quite passively up there. With the Doc in that position, which is where we saw Groovy playing, you're going to have an ACOG on your gun, and you're going to have stim pistols to get yourself back up should that damage be done. Now, typically, a Capitao is going to put some fire arrows up there, try to move you out of that position, and once that's done, the attackers can take control of Garage, put you in a very bad spot. We saw it in the previous round. Once Shopify Rebellion swept through and they wanted that engagement in Cash, they were able to do that because they had control of Garage. They don't have it yet, but they've opened up that garage wall and opened up the main breach. That's a huge step for the North American team.
Yeah, and lucky that wall did not get banned a trick. Not lucky, skillful. Obviously, the firebolt from Canadian denying that. If the trick had gone through from Virtue, that's their only hard breach. That would have been end of the round most likely. Rexon, another great shot. He just doesn't stop Parker. Traded back at least from Virtue though, but Rexon's still lurking inside a garage. Falls off though, as he decides that 4v4 isn't exactly a prompt for the push. They have Rafters control now though. They've got some drones inside of it right now. Main breach is open. They have almost everything they could want to go for.
They have no intel though, Jesse.
They got some drones driving through garage at the moment.
You saw the way that Surf was firing, though. He thinks there might be somebody actively holding that portion of the map. There's only 3 drones remaining. It's tough for them to be able to get those into proper spots. So my Adrian. He was asleep at the wheel down in stock, Jesse, and now the advantage goes to Shopify Rebellion with 30 seconds left.
Should be an easy cleanup now. Can plant from Raptors if they want to. Diffuse kit's actually going to be platformed from Canadian, but he's got these smokes to get to the plant spot, no problem. 3 nitros, though. Wait, this could be the wrench in the plan. If they don't have an answer for these nitro cells, this could catch them off guard. This has got to be very, very precise.
Canadian walking in, losing the engagement to Virtue at top red. And he immediately beelines out of there. Now damage inside of the bomb site. Savage goes down. Jube and Virtue still upright. Surf planting. Grixer listening to the logic bomb. Virtue's the last one standing. And he manages to get him off of the plant in time.
Still getting cut off too much. Let's just stay alive on the positions, guys. Once we are
He hopped off on his own. That nitro cell likely would have killed him, though, from the replay that we saw.
Yeah. Steal, we then play off each other. Like the other guys are gonna help you guys, okay?
Canadian's entry into the bomb site was a little questionable for me. Obviously, I mean, he had those Capitao bolts in his pocket, chose not to use them, instead walked in the breach and tried to take a fight. Maybe just reading that there were a lot of nitros on the board, and if they had tried to go for a plant, it wasn't going to work, so they had to go for those gunfights rather than focusing the kit.
I do the Monty, you do the cat.
End of the day, it was just that nitro cell that finished off the round, but it was really the frags earlier on that the Shopify Rebellion ended up losing that put them into that position. So tough final execute, 3v3. with the threat of those nitros, it was enough to dissuade the final plants, and that's going to be Secret's first round on the board, which is good for them and their fans. This is the first time that we've seen Secret come into a game here at SI, so nice to see that they can finally get their first round of the event.
Sorry, I couldn't help but laugh at how you said they got their first round, and that's good for Secret.
Well, I mean, for some teams it would be bad.
Please explain.
I refuse.
Okay. I respect that.
We're going back down to the basement now, Parker, and obviously this is going to be a similar round to round number 1. Again, it's roam heavy for Team Secret. You know, they want to be able to hold that top floor. Savage and June, once again. Virtue locking down the Secret stairs. Ruby on main. They're managing to hold all of these positions for now. Adrian holding down Dirt Tunnel. Canadians moved off the Monty over to the Blackbeard. Functions more similar to the Blitz, which is obviously what Canadian likes to play on this map. We saw it a lot throughout the NAL in Stage 2. They will find the Legion of June to start this round, and he's got Savage not too far off just inside of CC. With this information, how do they follow it up?
Shopify Rebellion have gotten all 3 of the opening picks, by the way. Canadians in a hard place here as he trudged on in. He had 2 separate players looking in his direction. All of Shopify Rebellion just flooding into the bomb site and being very swiftly removed. Rex and Canadian and Ambi, all good is gone. Grixer and Surf are the last 2 standing, and there's lots of time left for Team Secret to just sit pretty, and wait. Sometimes the roticism comes back.
Great star from June.
Fun fact for all of you watching, I had roticism when I was a child. I didn't say Parker, I said Pauko. And then my mom sent me to speech therapy, and then it's gone away. But sometimes it comes back. Another one jumps in, it's Surf this time around. Grixer finds one with the sidearm out. Also finds a goo mine, snapping onto the head of Savage. 2 relatively nice kills with the sidearm, but now he's got to conquer this bottom floor bomb site. It'll be littered with various gadgetry. Virtue's going to be here. I was going to say, he doesn't even need ADS at that range. And with the HP of Grixer, this will be an easy cleanup.
Move, brother!
First 2 rounds for Shopify Rebellion. Next 2 rounds for Team Secret. And funny enough, the most recent round was the first time the Team Secret struck first blood all game. It's been Shopify Rebellion to this point.
Play water than maybe Jake, honestly.
Great roam from Joom, obviously, on that top floor. The 2K entry really set them up for success.
Wow. Do they have, like, everything on the B2? You know?
If you're wondering, by the way, why we go quiet mid-sentence, it's because both of the player booths are mic'd. And it's nice to hear what the players talk about. We don't get this opportunity all that often, only a couple times a year. Depending on the setup of the booths, sometimes the miking doesn't exactly work all that well. Sure. So if we have an opportunity to sit back and listen to the players strategizing, talking, sometimes, as we saw in the BDS match, yelling, we take that opportunity to do that because it's kind of nice. So we can take a break from talking, and I'm sure you gain an awful lot hearing the players tell you what they want to do rather than us talking about what we just saw.
Yeah, always nice to hear the insights of the players.
And both of these teams speak English, which is the bigger thing.
Yes, absolutely. We were talking over the players a little bit when it came to Raza versus PSG earlier today, because that wouldn't have been as insightful for us on the English stream.
The exception to that, of course, was when Fabian spoke, as he was speaking in English as the coach, the team seemingly understanding it.
Oh, nice little trick coming out. I believe that was Joom on the con single wall. Able to make sure that that wall does stay closed. That's going to be extra thermic charge out of the pocket of Canadian. They got plenty more, of course, 1 on him, but then 3 Selmas for Rexton as well. Bomb site will be gym and bedroom, so getting these walls open is important. There's a bit of a cache extension like there was the last time, but this time the focus for the Rebellion's not going to be on that side of the map. Instead, they're going straight in with an Amaru.
Swinging their way through, Canadian starts off the killing. Ambi is waiting for the cross upstairs, but there's nobody for him to kill. His teammates have done the job for themselves. That's also a Thatcher shotgun, by the way.
Yep.
Your eyes are not deceiving you. This is an odd choice, but one that seemingly is working out. Joom needs to emerge from construction. He finds a single kill onto Ambi. A really unlucky game for Ambi so far. going 1-5 and being the first to die on the side of Shopify Rebellion multiple rounds now. The players from Shopify Rebellion very wisely have scattered away from the bomb site, but Joom has just given the game up inside a weight room, on the windows, on the walls. You can finish the rest of that. Shopify Rebellion answers back after dropping 2 rounds in a row, and the lead is theirs yet again.
That's that thermite gun. That thermite gun on land.
I'm not good with that gun, bro. That's all you. I fucking suck with that gun.
Don't put Rexon on thermite. Good to know. Listen, great rush play, obviously. I mean, this is a Maru that came in through main. It didn't get any kills, I don't believe, Ambi, but still being a part of that big rush that came through the main Jacuzzi breach and then the Candelas from Grixer as well, hugely important. We've seen that play before in the NAL. I know I've seen an Amaru come through that window. It's not a common rush play, though, that you see. I feel like I want to say SSG played that before. Maybe I'm mixing up the teams. Regardless of who it was in the past, that's one of those rush strategies that completely caught off guard Team Secret. And that really shows like how Shopify Rebellion can change up the pace from round to round. They can play a style where they full clear the map. They go from all the way top to all the way bottom, or they clear the cache extension and they spend 2.5 minutes on that. Or they can say, screw it, let's mix things up. Let's go straight through the breach and hit it that way. Regardless of the setup, they can always find some kind of entry points, and that really does contribute to the fact that a lot of people think that this team is maybe the best inside of North America right now.
Where does the shield go when the robots stand up?
Where do the reinforcements come from, Parker? Same place.
Their butts.
Same place.
Robots don't have butts.
Yeah, we do.
For what purpose does a robot need a butt?
I don't know. It's probably like got like important circuitry. I don't design robots. I have
Humans have important circuitry in their butts? No, they have barricades.
No, we're not humans, yeah. Or we're not robots.
We're not what?
Never mind, you didn't hear that.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
Secret are going back to the full rotation. Doesn't matter what bomb sites are locked.
This is a serious question, by the way. I want to know where the robots put them.
Well, we'll get it to the devs, and we'll figure that out for you, Parker.
I think it's a reasonable request.
Ruby's going to be playing up inside of Raptors on that Doc. Doc, one of those operators that like ranked players often think is very, very good, but struggles often. This is one of his situations where he can be quite strong. Adrian will try to get out of here. He tried to teleport away, but he's taking some fire damage. He's going to get hit stimmed up now, it's a distraction for Canadian to walk up and get the kill.
That's a very good bait, and the robot of Adrian still very much there on Scopos, watching over top. As it's droned out, they know that somebody's there, and well, he's just standing there menacingly. Just shoot him.
I don't know if that's going to work, Parker.
No, not at all. Joom trying to get back to the bomb site. Ambi is prepared for that as Rexon takes care of Adrian. The fire had done its job before, but now it's the para to do the rest. Savage and Virtue inside the bomb site. Both in separate bomb sites, mind you. Virtue not able to successfully bandit trick the wall because of the Monty breathing down his neck. So now he and Savage have switched spots. Canadian is getting so much information here. He's not moving at all. He's a gifted IGL, so when you put him on an operator that's indestructible, which is what Monty is at the present moment in the way that he's positioned, he's going to gain so much from it. Virtue doing double duty, watching the breach, watching the top of red, and now into lounge too. He finds 1 kill onto Ambi. It's the first casualty for Shopify Rebellion, and it comes with 50 seconds left. Canadian sees an opportunity. There's still 2 nitro cells on the board. Make that 1 as Savage is as good as gone. Virtue has to inch his way up, but it's Grixer on the flank up red stairs, the position Virtue had just given up on. That manages to take Virtue down before the explosive can stop Canadian. Another round for Shopify Rebellion, and they take the first half, 4-2.
That's actually hilarious, bro. Basement, no mirror. Basement, no mirror.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
Play music.
Okay. Oh, this one.
Open your fucking book, turn the page.
No, I know what to do now. I just, you haven't said that shit in so long, it was like, I don't know.
Let's go, guys. 1 round at a time. 0-0. Come on. Are you serious? You can't get dog.
I gotta say, Shopify Rebellion are looking fantastic through this game so far.
But their coach thinks it's 0-0. That must call into question the expertise.
You're right. Somebody's gotta inform Super that we've already played 6 whole rounds.
Oh, and he got the Nitro Cell to boot. It wouldn't have mattered because the Warden died. That's just style points.
Style points, exactly.
It's just the love of the game. That's all it is. It's just, I'm going to get it just in case. Just to show you I can. Somebody clip that.
Dude, clean attacks, though. 6 rounds in a row from Shopify Rebellion. Always came in with a really solid game plan. They executed it, working together. They always knew what the problems were going to be from Secret. Think back to that round where they were in danger of getting bandit tricked on the CC wall. They've got an answer for it. It's a Capitao. Every time, they seem to be very aware of what Secret could do, especially in those late rounds, to disrupt their push, and they were always ready for it. Even that final round in the 1v5, 1v4, whatever it was with Virtue, they knew he could go down below and toss a Nitro Cell, so they had a player push red stairs. They had that information. They had that dialed in. It is clinical, clean siege being played by Shopify Rebellion right now. This is exactly what we wanted to see from North America's best.
Joom now rocking the Blackbeard, as that'll be the first shield brought out by Team Secret. Groovy on his roll going 0-5 is quite disastrous.
Unlucky.
I feel a Pengu tweet about one-shot headshots through barricades coming after that one. A one-shot headshot is always an instant kill, including if it's through a surface. I don't know if that was a read. Pengu has walked into our casting booth now and is shrugging wildly. It's good to know that their match is done, I guess. Spoilers, right?
I suppose.
You had a good point, though, that you were talking about earlier on before that happened. I was talking about right now how the top fraggers on the team historically have gone a little bit quiet. Groovy going 0-5 is well below his potential. Ambi 2-6 is also very poor for his role. You're expecting to see somebody like Canadian or somebody like Virtue towards the bottom of the standings, not Groovy and Ambi. That means that they're not fulfilling their roles as correctly as they could, or it means that the team is adjusting to their play and putting other players into those roles. Certainly Rexon is having no problem finding kills, but again, that's the role Rexon is on.
Interesting putting Ambi on the smoke. We'll see how he does with it here. I won't judge it till it gets played out. Playing those main stairs, that is more of a forward position for the young entry player of Shopify Rebellion, so sometimes operators get pigeonholed into certain roles. Doesn't have to be an anchor. He's getting good value to these toxic babes. He's gonna have to move with his nade though, and he perfectly finds the head. What a shot.
He's still got one toxic canister. He'll use it to stall on the main stairs. 50 seconds left. That'll slow down the advance of Team Secret. Ambi's not relinquishing control of the stairs either. He's not falling back, and you can see from the silhouettes, there's 4 players around. Ambi gets one, Canadian blows up another. Secret managed to take control of the stairs, but it costs them dearly. Surf goes for an ill-advised rotate in the back of the bomb site. He's spotted by Savage, but that's more information for Shopify Rebellion, as they know one player has made it to the bottom of the stairs. Virtue takes down one before he goes. The Goyo perishes, and it's Canadian and Savage in a 1v1. 10 seconds remain. Canadian, no Nitro Cell. He'll have to take this engagement himself. Pros don't fake. Savage does. Instead, he'll run towards the corner and win the duel against Canadian. The 50-50 earlier broken favor of Shopify Rebellion. This time around, it goes to Team Secret.
And the one guy flashes, and then we double push him, guys, okay? Let's communicate more once we get this position, okay, boys?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
We got this, boys, okay? Let's go.
2 captains in the 1v1. You love to see it. Savage up against Canadian.
Like, this is what we need to do. Like, just chill and then take our time. Because that's they want to, like, make us waste time and then come back. So if we get the peak...
Barry's placed on my cash rolls, okay?
Make sure you're communicating, guys.
You're going to put one on the tub breach, and then the other one you're going to put gold, okay? Make sure we bring tub breach and gold.
It was the European, though, who came out on top, but really, I mean, it was a team effort coming through from Secret. Things got really hairy as Ambi started to destroy this push from the main stairs. It's notable that the very first player he killed was Joom on the Blackbeard. That's supposed to be the front man. That's supposed to be the guy who gets the push started. Losing him immediately for that before that execute was very dangerous for Secret, but they managed to clutch it back. They did a really good job of trading each other when they went for that final low man count execute, and the Rebellion just not quite able to stand up to it. So they will win their first attack, which is critical given the state of the game right now. 5-2 is a very different scoreline from 4-3 in Rainbow Six Siege. That first round in the second half is massively important when we get that 4-2 split. And now Rebellion will have to rework that bomb site when they go back to it. For now, though, it's going to be Gym Bedroom, and we heard some calls from Canadians setting up a lot of these reinforcements. He said one on the tub wall. I assume that means for the tube route that he is now playing, although I'm not sure which wall he's trying to use the tube route on.
Well, I think the tub wall would be the wall over the tub. I wasn't aware that there was a tub on this map.
There is a jacuzzi. That's like a big tub.
But I don't think you'd call it that.
No.
Grixer was a little bit behind the 8-ball on that bandit trick, and unfortunately, it costs them. The other exothermic charge will be put to good use onto that jacuzzi wall, not the tub wall. Unless maybe they call jacuzzi tub. It is much faster.
It is. You lose a syllable. You lose 2 syllables.
I love how Virtue just very casually adjusts his cursor to say, hey, there's somebody with a shotgun right there. We are 8 rounds in, and Groovy is still searching for his first kill. He's the only player that's been held off the score sheet so far. He will be playing on a more sheltered role on attack, at least if the last 2 rounds are any indication.
He's all alone here. He's just trying to hold the angle. Wants to deny anybody from swinging the cash window, trying to lurk late into this round. The rest of his team are all around the windows and around Jacuzzi Breach. He is just here waiting until he hears something. Deimos track comes out onto Rexon, playing the Mira inside of construction. They're hunting for him now on the windows. Again, it's really Groovy's job to keep Savage safe here so that he doesn't get shot in the side.
All the while, this clock, by the way, is just helping Shopify Rebellion. Canadian dies to Savage, he peeks, and that's a great shot from the Thatcher. Rexon hits him with a drive-by in response. Lightning does not strike twice for Team Secret in that regard. Ruby is waiting for the all clear. Ruby's been sitting here for about a minute and a half at this point. Completely immobile, but relying on the rest of his teammates to make this work. Now Rexon has the cross. He's worried about the advance up the top of red. And he sees one, he softens them up a bit, but not enough damage. Ambi has to pull off of his position as all this time has gone by, and all it's really done is allow Shopify Rebellion to dig in on this defense. It's forcing Virtue to rotate over with the diffuser in hand towards that jacuzzi wall.
Yeah, all alone. His teammates are both inside of construction, so if Virtue goes down, this could be a disaster for Secret.
Would strand that diffuser on No Man's Skyland. Ambi with 2, and then Grixer's there as well.
Good shit.
Good job. Let's go.
If you mismanage the clock and you wait for your opponents to make a mistake, which is what it looked like some of what Team Secret was doing, then you live by the clock and you seemingly die by it. In that instance, it was Team Secret dying by it. Shopify Rebellion at 5 rounds now, working their way very quickly through this map. Team Secret responds based on both the scoreline and the way that the last few rounds have gone by pulling their timeout.
Right now onto the game and what you guys can do. I don't think they will double up on the garage, but they will play on you guys once you guys are going for the stake, if you guys are going there. So what we can do, we can bait them as well. We can go for the late execution you guys saw in this last round. We almost did it in the first one as well. We just need to make sure that we have people holding the positions, because they are doing the default, but they are trying to do individual plays. Can even hide in our kitchen, the main stairs guy. They will try to do this on garage, they will try to do the main stairs as well onto this round. So right now, we just need to stick either to fast stakes areas of the map or the face push that we want to do, because they're not bringing a lot of resources for site. And do this, because you guys have all this, don't worry.
Yeah, we got it. Let's go.
All right, a lot of tactical information coming out from Twister in that attack timeout. Sometimes you see it more be about the mental, sometimes it's more about round-to-round stuff. He really was kind of giving them the intel on what he's expecting in this next round. Next round will be CCTV cash, so they haven't actually played this bomb site yet, but obviously things can carry over from site to site, and they can keep that information in their brains for future rounds as well. I really want to credit Ambi over these last couple of rounds. Since moving to defense, he went from the lowest fragging player on Shopify Rebellion to the second highest, putting up now 7 kills and 7 deaths. He has been absolutely fantastic. Ambi has maybe the most ridiculous stat line of any player in this tournament. Do you want to know what that stat is?
Well, of course I'm going to say yes.
Ambi is the youngest player at the Six Invitational for the 2nd year in a row. Just think about that for a second. An entire generation of Rainbow Six Siege players had the opportunity to come up and overthrow Ambi as the youngest player at SI, and not one of them pulled that off.
Okay, hold on a second here. An entire generation in the span of 1 year is a bit of a stretch.
Okay, well, still,
I understand what you're saying.
If you're 18 right now watching this broadcast, you messed up. What happened? Why aren't you here playing instead of Ambi?
You heard it here first. Every 18-year-old watching this.
Yeah.
You messed up by not being here. How dare you?
I just think it's incredible.
I think that is a very cool stat line, admittedly. Ambi had also just turned 18 when he came to play. Is that correct, if memory serves?
Yeah, he turned 18 right before last year's SI, and he's still 18. He will turn 19 in a couple of days here.
That's a wild stat. Surf peels off of that CCTV wall. As you see the Selmas from Adrian working their magic to open up, at least for now, sight lines into the bomb site. We'd have to see, imagine they're big enough to walk through. This is a direct hit on the CCTV and cache bomb sites. One thing that was noted by Twister, the coach of Team Secret, in that timeout was that they don't use a lot of utility on the actual site. Most of their utility is scattered around the exterior of the site to slow down your advance. This is a bomb site where you can literally open up that B-bomb wall and just walk right in and plant. It's very direct. Some teams can get maybe a bit too linear with their executes.
This is a great example of how they use their util off-site.
Does it get in time? Yes, it does. They managed to save the drone. Ambi gets one. He's looking for either Savage or Virtue. Hard to tell by the silhouettes. Canadian almost dying to an 8. He falls off of his position, and now he can go back on to his Echo drone. Ambi down below now takes out Adrian. He was 1 in 5. What did you say it was?
Yeah,
1 in 5?
2 and 6, I think.
2 and 6?
2 and 5, I don't know.
Ambi now has the second most kills on his team. Ruby 1 and 8. That will be the story if Team Secret falls short here. Rexton preying upon Virtue. Traded right back by June. Only 2 remain for Secret. They have the kit. They don't have a ton of time, and both of them will now enter through the catwalk, up through rafters, in garage, and it's very easy to watch this single opening. Shopify Rebellion throwing out some toxic gas. Jum has no idea where they are. It's Savage with the diffuser, so Jum will go hunting. He finds one over by Cash. Going back to be next to Savage, who gets knocked off of that position and then killed by a Nitro cell. Only 10 seconds left for Jum. He'll have to break double digits to win this round. If not, it's Shopify Rebellion going to match point, and guess what they're all doing? They're playing keep away. Not a single person inside of the site because the Yokai drone can get the job done.
It's all good. Keep identifying what they're doing. Easy fucking reads.
Good shit.
Let's go, guys. Come on.
Map point for Shopify Rebellion.
Let's go basement bunker, okay?
Okay. Read the attacks.
We ran yesterday, unless we want to run them the bandit. Yeah, you gotta run the bandit. So.
Dude, they are reading them like a book. And Twister's reading them right back. I want to be clear. When he went in that attack timeout and he said all their util, not all, but a lot of their utils being used away from the site externally, he absolutely hit the nail on the head. Canadian on the Echo that round was absolutely insane. You just saw the Yokai drone at the feet there. Canadian's first Yokai, you saw it outside the building. It fed Ambi some kills. It really did give that information on the outside breach players to the rest of the aggressive guys over on Shopify Rebellion. But then his second Yokai, you couldn't see it, but on the top down, we saw that it was sitting in construction that whole time, just in case there was a push through master, right? In the last 20 seconds of the round, Canadian himself rotated into construction because he knew the push was all coming garage, and then moved the Yokai through Cash, through the drone hole, through the feet of Jum to deny the plant at the last possible second. Just crazy stuff coming out from Canadian on the Echo. If you can get your hands on the match replay file, that would be one to go back and watch because he was so perfect with that util.
Oh, okay, Rexon. Was that a run out through the garage door, or?
Imagine if it was a second just wallbang onto Rexon. That would be a third of his deaths to random wallbangs.
Another Pengu tweet fired up. Sitting in the drafts, he's just got them ready. Distributing them like leaflets like the Jehovah's Witnesses do on the street corners.
Yeah.
Have you heard about one-shot headshots? Huh? Are you ready to convert?
Rexon's been incredible this map. He was their best player in map number 2 yesterday when they beat FaZe Clan. That was the only map that Shopify were able to win in yesterday's series. It seems like when Rexon can show up big, Shopify find results because of it. In the 2 maps that Shopify lost yesterday to FaZe Clan, Rexon was statistically their worst rated player. So he, every game so far, including this one, assuming it ends relatively quickly, has been either the best or the worst player on the team, and that has determined whether they've won or lost the map.
I mean, you've got 4 big offensive threats for Shopify Rebellion. You've got Grixer, who can lurk really effectively. You've got Ambi and Rexin, both of who are seemingly fearless on the entry. Surf is very flexible in his position. He can frag well on support roles if needed. And then Canadian, who depending on the map will play a support op on defense. Maybe he'll roam. Maybe he thinks that there's more benefit if he's on the roam or playing off site to his calls. The flexibility on Shopify Rebellion is really quite strong. I mean, sometimes 2 or 3 of the players don't show up, and that's rough. Usually Canadian is one of those players, but he's positive for the time being. The only player on Shopify Rebellion who's not is Surf. And based on the roles that Surf is playing so far on Clubhouse, that's really not that bad. Everybody else is doing the jobs that are needed of them, especially Ambi, who has woken up. Same cannot be said for Team Secret. Groovy is having a really rough game, and he's back to playing this middle floating role. Ambi dies to Joom, as we've got just a bit below a minute left. Down goes Savage to Canadian. He almost gets another, but it's Grixer credited with the kill instead. Through blue, Canadian lights up a bunch of liquor bottles, but can't do much more than that. Squaring himself up to the bomb chassis, it's just him and Grixer to work against these 3 remaining players. The rotate will come in. 2 bodies still for Team Secret will sit in blue. Another will head over towards main stairs.
Diffuse gets down in Moto, by the way.
One manages to escape. It's the Blackbeard, and Grixer knows that the jig is up. He doesn't want to get hit by that shield. He's got one at the bottom of main stairs. How does he get away with that? But Virtue cleans up Canadian, then turns his attention towards Grixer inside sight. Diffuse kit doesn't matter if you're getting all of the kills, and Team Secret are hanging on as best as they can.
I will say that was a clean mid-round adaptation coming through. A little scary as we get attack timeout from the Shopify Rebellion.
It's 0-0, remember.
These guys, they're split. They're trying to confuse us. Just make them prove they can attack. They haven't really proven they can do anything, right? I think the way we defended this last time was fine. Just remember, don't overreact. If we're moving around, if we feel like we need to move, make sure we're talking to each other about what the gaps may be. Last time, they did want to try to go Logi, and they couldn't because the Deimos wasn't able to get picks. But just be aware of like that main stairs walk up because the Deimos was under in kitchen. Be aware of that lurk like red. Just be careful, guys. They're going to try to split up. They're going to look for that cheese pick to walk up to try to hit a play. Just keep talking. Be aware of it, guys. Let's go. Come on.
Split together your workouts. I got more than shotgun C4 here. Better be stinky.
Last time, right off the start, Richie, they tried to breach-hurt the G1 wall, so I'm going to wall bang them. Okay. I'm pretty sure.
I can take a bullet with you.
It's a risky call. We can wall bang him. You're telling Rexin to do that? Rexin's been killed twice trying to do something funny at the start of the round.
Well, he's not even trying. It happens sometimes, you know? He's just minding his own business, sitting on cams, and then whoops. Through it comes. I wanted to say, Secret in that last round, they did a really good job adapting because they had a lot of players, all 3 of them in the 3v2 inside of blue, and they had to pause for a second in that push. They rotated, I think it was Groovy, over towards main stairs just to add another dimension to that push, and I really think that was the difference maker to kind of open up that bomb site for Team Secret, allow Virtue to kind of work those picks and get the players down on the ground. Canadian down in that defuse kit in Moto, I thought gave him a chance. But ultimately, Virtue was hitting too many nice shots coming in from come from blue anyways. So, Team Secret, stay alive in this game. We heard Super talk about what he's expecting in this round from Secret. He talked about a Deimos that might work some picks, not being brought this time. Talked about how it was a Logi focus from Secret. It didn't. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that from Secret this time around, as they are really grouping up over here around Rafters. It's going to be a full top floor clear, it seems like, instead, where they're going to try to take this Raptors control, take some cash control, and eventually finish through construction, and maybe eventually get over towards Logi as well, but that's only if this all goes well.
Shopify is leading the way when it comes to first bloods. 4 at this point for Team Secret, 6 for Shopify Rebellion. Conversion rates have been pretty good so far. There have only been 2 instances through the 10 rounds where the team that gets first blood fails to win the round. Something worth noting. I mean, we go through periods of time where First blood is hard to track, especially in those chaotic 20-second meta games where everybody is killing each other very, very quickly, and technically while you get first blood, it's with 20 seconds left. But in this case, a lot of it's been relatively even. Adrian gets killed by what I imagine was a nitro cell that was tossed out. He gets picked right back up. But that's damage that you can't get rid of. Adrian will now die to a little bit of shrapnel from the last nitro cell in the hands of Grixer, or an errant bullet here or there. Fire arrow goes to the top of red. It pushes Rexen out of this position, and there's a bit of discomfort inside the bomb site. Grixer dies to Virtue. Secret getting first blood, like we talked about. This is so integral. Groovy walking up over towards top of red, searching for more than just a single kill. Rexen with one Canadian dies at the hands of Joom, and now Rexen dies to Groovy. It's a run out from Ambi, and Team Secret sweeps through them with Groovy getting 2 kills. A big round from him when his team needed it the most. Team Secret clawing this one back. We will need all 12 rounds in regulation.
That read from Super really didn't cut. Oh, he didn't die to a nitro cell, Parker.
He fell off the roof.
Well,
I mean, hey, you control the buttons you press. In this case, Adrian controlled the button he pressed.
He did.
And unfortunately, he pressed the wrong button.
Didn't matter in the end. Still was a clean cash side clear. I was gonna say, I mean, Super definitely had that read, but Secret did a completely different push, and it was beautiful. They had Virtue on the cutoff outside of the con window, got the very first pick onto a player inside of construction, and then the rest of the players coming in through rafters, coming in through the CC breach, clearing out that cash play. It was Canadian and Rexen trying to play that duo roam inside of cash, and they just couldn't get enough done. Late into the round, Shopify went for some aggressive plays to try to pull it back, but that was being read perfectly by Secret. And all of a sudden, we are within striking range as Secret are 1 away from forcing the overtime. Instead of going back to the top floor, the Rebellion will choose the basement for their last stand here in regulation. I should note as well, it is a full anchor down in the basement. There is not a single roamer outside of the basement right now, so we're likely to see a very slow early round in number 12.
Go back to round number 10, by the way, the one where Rexen died very early on, and you gotta wonder if that lives in the back of the minds of some of these Shopify Rebellion players, if you could take that back. That round was a real dogfight, but you were missing your Warden, and you were missing your best player statistically, who died very early on. Same thing happened to Rexen in round number 7, and both times Team Secret went on to win those rounds. So if they can punish Rexen early, then good things tend to happen. He has been a very formidable player throughout much of his time in pro play. His stint on Sonic's now Shopify Rebellion is no different. Virtue's been having a terrific game, by the way, and he's been doing it on non-fragging roles. He's really helped pick up the slack that has been unfortunately created by Groovy and Adrian, both sitting at 3 kills apiece. Fortunately, this is the second LAN in a row where Adrian has underperformed expectations. There's still time for him to sort it out. It is, after all, the first Team Secret match at this event, as they had the day off yesterday. But might only have an opportunity to figure it out in the group stages, especially with how competitive this group in particular is.
Oh, absolutely. Got to figure out this defense first, though. They've got players in a lot of different directions. Some players in kitchen, that should be the brunt of the push. Of course, Dirt Tunnel being held by Savage now. We're going to move Joom over towards Dirt Tunnel, too. This is a very strong position for a Blackbeard to be. He gets a lot of free space when pushing up here. Canadian will find 2 separate players pushing this direction. Watch out for Groovy as well, who will late be pushing in through Secret.
There's a grenade that will go. Savage getting the very first kill. Again, the team that draws blood first in this series has such a high success rate. Secret's likely breathing a bit easy here. Shopify Rebellion isn't choking it necessarily, but they're in really rough shape. Nitro Cell goes out, does not connect. 2 kills so far for Secret. A third will come in. Virtue with a 2-piece. It's all up to Ambi. And a flawless end to regulation for Team Secret as we need overtime between these squads. You know, Jesse, I feel like you and I are the overtime guys this event because it feels like every single match we cast goes into OT. This one is no different. Shopify Rebellion will have 2 kicks at the defending can. Team Secret will attack twice. Savage typed in chat, by the way. You guys love choking, don't you?
Oh, brother. I'm not sure that they do. This is going to be a close one all the way to OT. I mean, it's just a great game, frankly. I mean, we're seeing some really clean attacks. Clubhouse is often talked about as a defender-sided map, but I truly believe it is always within the hands of the attackers to execute on their utility play, get the job done, and make a good push work. And both of these teams have been pretty successful when it comes to that 2-4-2 attacking splits, and that really just does come off with some clean roam clears when needed, some clean site hits when needed. For Secret, that time it all come down to the site hit. There was no roam to be seen. So it really did come down to pushing 3 different directions, 5 different players, a bunch of opening picks, and it really did look amazing. Now, after failing to defend the basement, failing to defend gym bedroom, they're going to go back to CCTV cache. This was where we saw Canadian playing that Echo that I was really gushing about the last time they played this bomb site. He moves to the Fenrir instead. A lot of the other parts of this setup gonna remain the same. Surf on this Bandit, Rexen on this Dock, all pretty traditional.
A losing record on that bottom floor bomb site, by the way, for Shopify Rebellion. They attempted it 3 times on their previous defensive stead and unsuccessfully played it all 3 times. I don't think they're gonna be going back there in a hurry, to your point. No bar and stage has been played, so while all 4 bomb sites on this map are perfectly viable...
No, they aren't. Our stage is terrible.
Don't listen to him. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't even know who Rocky and Bullwinkle are.
Not
Why would you
man.
listen to him?
That's a Flynn take. That's a good site. I just
Flynn will
know that
take
you're
whatever he
siding.
can get. Great bandit tricking, by the way, by Surf. He gets both of those Selmas that were thrown out. Virtue still has 1 exothermic charge. He's got 14 kills, by the way. He and Rexen are tied at the top of the standings, but Virtue's been doing that on what is typically a non-fragging role. We say this quite regularly because we have to highlight the players who fail to perform at the level, but more importantly, we have to highlight those who are exceeding. And in this case, Virtue is not the guy who should be getting 14 kills. Joom is one that you could argue should be. He's got 12 kills, but he's immediately vanquished by Ambi. That's the Blackbeard down. Ambi's feeling confident he can have some more. There's 2 silhouettes not too far away from him, struggling to control recoil, and Savage manages to walk away with that one. Ambi just aimed a little bit above the head. Ambi with 11 deaths, Joom with 11 deaths. That's the hallmark of a, I'll say a good entry, but that's the hallmark of an entry.
They cleared up the roamers now on the side of Secret, but they still don't have a great way into sight. The main breach is going to stay closed. A lot of these Secret players are repositioning over towards construction, but that con single wall is also still reinforced and electrified, so they don't have a great way of getting in this way either. This, despite the fact that they've got a bit of a man advantage, doesn't necessarily favor Secret. If they can't get another one of these walls open, they're gonna have to funnel in through just a couple of doorways, maybe a window into sight. It's not gonna be an easy push-in, so don't be deceived by this man count. This could be a very scary last 30 seconds if you're Team Secret.
The tools that they have will allow Shopify Rebellion to sit quite pretty, and I mean, it's gonna be a rush into the site. Playing around the bomb chassis, Surf gets rid of Adrian, another for Surf. You could argue that he helped win the round earlier on with his bandit tricking, but it's all up to Virtue to collect his 15th kill, taking damage over time, looking for another, but Rexen does it with the sidearm.
Guys, we're running out of time.
The bench of Shopify Rebellion will exhale as they find themselves in a position that they were in just a couple minutes ago. Map point, they weren't able to secure it at any of the attempts previously. Can they right that ship this time? You called it perfectly, though. Just because you have an advantage does not mean it's going to work when you're running in through a single point into the bomb site, which, by the way, is exactly what we saw on the last execute from this point before, when they went in upstairs. There were 2 players from Team Secret, and they rushed in from rafters. It's really easy to sit farther back and contain them in that position, whether you play in construction, whether you're playing at top red. you're going to go into this bomb site, and they know exactly where you're coming from. It makes it really easy to stop you.
Well, I mean, it all comes back to that main breach, right? That CC wall, and it really does take me back all the way to, was it round 2 or 3 when Team Secret attempted the bandit trick. They tried to keep the wall closed, but what happened? Shopify Rebellion had already thought of that. They were bringing the Capitao to deny the bandit trick, and they didn't have that issue, and they went on to win that round. For Team Secret, when they're in a similar situation, they don't think that far ahead, or maybe they tried to, but it just didn't quite all come together. And so with the main wall getting bandit tricked, this win rate for the bomb site goes way down. They did eventually get the construction wall open. That gave them a bit of a chance, but still super linear push. Positioning was really good from Shopify. And then Surf, after the bandit trick, hit some beauty shots deep in the site as well, enabled by that position that he was gifted thanks to his earlier round bandit trick. So all around good stuff. Secret got to respond now. Down to the basement is where they will head. Canadians back on the Blackbeard. It's back to a decently heavy roam. It used to be Savage and Joom top floor. Now it's just Joom, but he falls off somewhat early as well.
Shopify Rebellion is 1-4-2 on this bomb site. 1 victory and 1 loss. They won it their very first round. With Canadian getting the plant down, Grixer had the opening pick on that round. The second time that this bomb site popped up, which Team Secret could have gone there much earlier, but instead chose to go with the bomb site carousel instead of going back to something that had just failed you, was in round number 4. And Team Secret ended up winning that one. That was when Joom got a 3K and managed to blunt the momentum. That was a very slow round. The opening pick came in around 2 minutes. At that point, you've only got, realistically, less than a minute to find your kills and get in with your objective. This round is seemingly equally slow. Savage roaming above could be the first casualty, but depends on whether or not he's been droned out by Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, this could be a bit scary still. Savage didn't start the round on that top floor, so it's likely that he wasn't caught out. But Joom actually opens things up. He finds Ambi. Where was that?
Yeah, where is the
main
joke?
stairs, I think. Maybe
even
not.
the observers don't know. Maybe they do know. Maybe we don't.
I mean, that's shocking. I mean, you're going to lose your Dokkaebi, one of your best fraggers as well on the side of Rebellion. Finding some of these Valk cams still, but that's going to halt this momentum. You need to not stall out here now if you're Shopify. They still don't know where Savage is.
No, they have definitely not droned this top floor, and they don't have a lot of information left at their disposal. I think they've spotted him now. They have indeed. Surf's got the lineup on the top of the stairs. Savage will be blinded whether Surf decides to go for a direct engagement or just wait him out. But the problem is that right now Savage is the gatekeeper to those main stairs, and he wins the duel against Surf. That is a round-losing play. Virtue's on the board, taking down Rex, and Savage dies to Canadian, and it's all up to the team captain, who dies inside a Moto.
Nice, big play.
15 rounds. Our third 15-rounder, Jesse. We're the OT guy.
We deserve it, though, don't we? 2 great teams playing peak siege right now. Just good movements from Team Secret. I mean, Savage, of course, going for that big flank.
They're expecting us to frag executes, like we can go and plant it this round, okay, for Jim, if they give us the wall in fast. I'm playing a sense here so we can facilitate the execute as well, guys, okay? We'll see.
Good. We got this, guys. 1 round right here. All we need. Lock it in.
1 round will separate these 2 teams from a map victory, going up 1-0 in the series. This is again the map pick of Shopify Rebellion. So we expect it to be a little bit more vital for them to be able to walk away with a win here. Losing this puts them in a difficult spot in the series. Get on that last round, it was really Savage who was on that roam that made a big movement, but everybody who got that, who were able to work those opening picks, had some big impact for Secret. That's all behind us here. Shopify Rebellion will go to the bomb site that you said they don't have the greatest of win rates on. They'll head down to the basement. When they played this bomb site yesterday, they defended it twice against FaZe Clan. They won it once, lost it once. It's all about the adaptations this late into the matchup, and Surf has decided it is time to pull out the shield operator on defense. What a choice.
Slow him down.
Yeah.
I expect we will see a bit more sheltered of a defense here from Shopify Rebellion, though they will go downstairs to the bomb site that has not been friendly to them at all. Canadian is in a really tough spot as
He loves
he's
playing here.
isolated from the rest of his team and will have to fight his way out of Kitchen as he's being watched by Savage. Adrian can get in position too. This gets real scary for Canadian through that window. He manages to get away. The hatch was opened up. Very, very, very scary for Shopify Rebellion in that engagement. You lose Canadian there, you might just concede the round at that point.
It's tactical, though. Canadians very used to playing that position. They've got other util placed around the map still. That was an interesting Goyo canister we have at the top of main stairs. They're really putting a lot of utility into keeping this main stairs slowed down and stalled out. They've got a Clash, a Goyo, and 3 Toxic Babes from Ambi, so this is a lot of resources expended.
Goyo canister will slow you down for about another 20 seconds, which means that about a minute will be left on the clock for this to work out. Canadian is waiting for the call from Surf to blow this assault sky high. I like the layers that we see from Shopify Rebellion here. They will lose the power of the shield, though, as an EMP goes out. Zambi taking down Adrian, and a lot of utility is being used here. Virtue continues his superb play with a 17th kill, this time on Negrixer. You lose the Goyo, but you still got the Goyo canisters. One more toxic canister remains in pocket for Ambi as he chokes off the entry point for the attackers. That's just a waiting game.
I mean, they know they've got to go somewhere else. That's not a winning situation.
And Secret have responded by sending Savage and Groovy over towards blue. Rexon taking care of Savage, but who's going to get Groovy in this spot? Some distractions with the alarm. Virtue drops. Jumna finds not just 1, but 2. Rexon and Canadian are down. Jum taking some serious damage. Surf and Ambi, the last 2 alive, and it's a rush into the site. Diffuser, successful. No! Oh, it does! It goes down at the last second. Secret bailed out by the clock. It's Groovy to now burst into the bomb site. Ambi at 12 kills. Surf with the shield on. Waiting, giving the calls as Groovy gets into position. He doesn't seem to know where Ambi is. He gets pounced upon, and Shopify Rebellion stave off what could have been a Team Secret comeback. They'll celebrate, but it was really close on their own map. All 15 rounds needed, and it came down to the wire. It's not exactly a confidence-inspiring win, but it's a win nonetheless, and they can regroup and prepare for map number 2.
18-year-old kid from Chicago locks it down those last couple of rounds. My God, the way he moved playing smoke on defense is something to be rewatched over and over and over again. Really bailed them out there. Despite some of those statistical troubles on the first half, it did not matter when we got down to it. Ambi played so well on defense, and that really saved them here on Clubhouse.
NA's had a great day. Will it continue? We'll find out after the break.
Available now.
This was touted as the match of the day, and it's already delivering. You said before we started, Lax, that Clubhouse is a map you don't take a team that is better than you to. Is this the result we expect?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said it in the pre-show that this is Clubhouse. It's a Coliseum map.
Yep.
You feel that you are better at the fundamentals. You aren't going to do anything that's going to be anything crazy. Clubhouse really does come down to who is making the least amount of mistakes, and if you are making those mistakes, if that team on the other end is capitalizing off of those mistakes. And that's exactly what we were seeing through and through, which is why we saw it at an 8-7. But ultimately, Shopify Rebellion end up closing it out in a close series. And Troy, you're not on DZ anymore. You don't need to keep your fans on the edge of their seats of trying to predict what's going to happen with these 8-7s.
One thing you said that I think resonated quite well in the regulation at the very least is it was going to be attacking-sided game.
Yeah.
4-2 first half. They bring it back, but it really was determined there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you go up 4-2, you get 4 attacks off. I mean, that's great. 3-3, it's okay. You're doing what you need to. 4-2, anything past that, you are doing phenomenal. But I mean, you got to give it to Secret. They bounced back. They showed their strength. They showed, what we haven't seen in these past few months, and they kept it extremely close. But again, I think that heavily just has to do with the fact that Blackbeard play, the shield play. We've talked about Secret being gimmicky, using shields when they first were being introduced, and the question was, are they going to use them now? They were using them today, and Joom was doing that beautifully.
Now, one player has been on the tip of our tongue since, I mean, really for years now in the North American scene, but Canadian really continues to step up and show why he is a solid leader. Round 9 is absolutely no exception to that.
Yeah, and this is a very simple round to break down for anyone that watches Siege. The biggest thing, and as a former player here, is just keeping the composure. They have the echo play. They have the information. They know that this round is done and dusted. And I can only imagine Troy is telling his teammates, relax, chill. Let's wait until this round is officially over. You see everyone moving side to side, getting out, not giving Joom even a chance of breath in this round. And then you see everyone collapse towards the end. But the key note to take away from that is you already knew the round was over. You could have got overzealous. You could have easily tried ending this round a lot earlier. But the fact is you kept your composure. You kept wanting to focus on getting the round over with. And that is important, especially when you're closing a series out or a game out in an 8-7 fashion.
And look, they take it at the moment, but there's still a bit more to come. Fox A has a big tally with him to help us break down this one.
Welcome to Siege School. I would like to take a moment to show you guys why having Canadian on your team is so pivotal to rectifying wrongs of previous rounds. The previous CCTV round, Shopify Rebellion used all their utility to get the server wall open. That ate up a lot of their time getting Rafters, and they lost due to time. So what did they do this time around? They decided to use the Fires to take Rafters control. First one isolates the Crossfire. They have no idea Adrian's in this corner, but it leaves Canadian in a nice little 1v1. This position could have gone either way, but Canadian gets the gunfight, and in that position, he sees Adrian's little foot sticking out, and what does he do? He calls for Rexon to come use the second Capital Bolt to push him out. Now, with the protection behind the shield, he's able to also just give communication to Rexon on where Adrian's going. That gives him a nice free Rafters control. They have so much time to play with, and now it brings you into the phase 2 of the attack. Shopify Rebellion, they lost because of time, but also because of Virtue on the red stairs with the C4, able to push the planter off of the defuse. They lost due to time. So what do they do using the man advantage? They say, Grixer, flank down bottom red, push Virtue. Surf is going to be holding from top red, and Rexon, last but not least, is going to have green control due to any X factors. And the beautiful part about this is at any moment, they can completely hold the other person's angle. Rexon can easily rotate to red, Surf can watch green. Grixer, gotta win that 1v1, but he can then go into cash and completely watch green. So that's exactly what we're gonna see. Savage pushes out through green, Rexon gets the trade, and then instantly rotates to watch red. Doesn't need it though, Grixer walks up, cleans up Virtue, and there you go. There's the last little C4. Tried to do the exact same thing, and that just goes to show that even though Shopify Rebellion is losing, they're learning, and that's the important part. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you very much for that, Fox. Great breakdown, by the way. It was really solid. Let's have a look at how this match actually played out. Have a look at the overarching picture here, because although we've been telling the tale of Canadian, although we've been hyping up Shopify Rebellion, yes, it's their map pick, Team Secret showed up, and two individuals in a very big way.
They absolutely did. You know, I was saying Joom was their secret weapon, quotes on the secret part, but Virtue, I mean, that's a SI winner. That's a hammer-held winner right there. So it's no surprise to me to see him bouncing. I mean, he was playing those supportive roles. He was on that Habina. He was getting aggressive. He was making these plays happen, but those two, in a nutshell, were making things work. And then you look at Savage, their IGL. He was also putting in the work. You got to let Fox not highlight some players of Grubby, because Grubby didn't have the best performance they wanted, nor did Surf. So Fox, you can't be highlighting these players. But everyone, even across the board on Shopify Rebellion, was really stepping up. We were talking about Ambi in the back. He wasn't looking too hot. I think he was 2-6 at one point. Yep. And then what? You take a blink, and all of a sudden he's like 9-6. So huge effort from Ambi to be able to bounce back and get it done and go into a map 2.
Speaking of map 2, it's on the other side of the short break.
Tap, tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Ooh, you feel that? Ooh, the real back. Ooh, I'm still that. Ooh, you catch that? Ooh, I guess that. The best back. Yeah, yeah. 30,000 up, I'm a pilot. Might jump out if I'm wildin'. Catch my flow, I'm so stylish. Tap, tap, real smooth. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go.
Shopify Rebellion may have gone up in the series, but I tell you what, Team Secret did not make this one easy. Overtime all the way to round 15, and it still came down to a 3v3 in the end. Fox, a really solid performance across the board. We now move over to Bank, though.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't be too worried if you're Shopify Rebellion. They let it slip a little bit, but I think that's just how it is when you have Canadian Eye gelling. We highlighted in the telestrator that it just takes a little time for him to adjust rounds that they lose, but we see the active changes every step of the way, every round. Bank, though, Bank is a map that is very big. It works very well for Secret's hyper-aggressive play style. It might be a little closer, but I don't know. I really believe that first map win, perseverance, they push through. I believe it gives Shopify Rebellion the confidence that they really needed.
I mean, the thing is for Shopify, you have to look at this. You brought that game really close. Now you're going to your pick. You are far more comfortable on this map than what we see from Shopify Rebellion. So you already got to feel good in that sense. And then like you were saying, the hyper-aggressive playstyle does favor teams when it is Bank because it's so big, because it is, you know, it's not a situation where you're going to find yourself just so tightly squeezed like you are in Clubhouse. But for me, with Shopify Rebellion, is we are going to have to be seeing those adaptations, given that this is not the strongest map of all the maps in their map.
And when it comes to the utility game that Bank demands, Shopify Rebellion is just way better suited for it. Secret, they were winning rounds based off of their gunfight and the positions that they were playing. So right now, if it comes down to the team play aspect, Shopify Rebellion is still leading in my opinion.
What I am curious about that is, are they going to ban that Montang and keep Troy off of that?
It could be very interesting. Bank is sure to be a hot one. Now, for our two casters, but one of them kind of barely speaks, so let me see this one. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but...
Yeah, it's my native language.
Perfect. Love that. Boys, I hope you enjoyed Bank. This one's sure to be a barn burner.
Thank you very much. I made enough jokes at his expense at the last major that I don't need to bring them back because, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned the right, I think, at this point.
I think so. I think it's all in good fun. People need to not be parasocial anties and think that something's going on here. Look at that. Team Secret and Shopify Rebellion both at 50% each. Again, very little movement on the social poll. It was like yesterday with the CAG game where it moved by 1 point.
That was crazy. It was 80-20, and then CAG won map 1, and it went 79-21. It's like people did not believe. But people were wrong.
The people were wrong, but 1% of you, as I said that at the time, 1% of you looked at the result and go, yeah, you know what? I think that'll do. I think that'll do it.
Well, I can't disagree with the people in this matchup because it was neck and neck on map number 1, and I'm expecting the exact same thing here on Bank for our second map of the series. This is, of course, Team Secret's pick, and it makes sense to go here with Shopify Rebellion struggling over recent months. They're on a 4-game losing streak on Bank, including a 7-5 loss to FaZe Clan just the other day. And Laxing was wondering if the Monty would get banned out. Well, it does. Shopify Rebellion, though, who take the Monty out, as they have in the past on this map. It's actually one where they tend to bring a little bit more blitz, so I don't think it's a huge shock to see the Monty get banned out by Shopify. Instead, then, Secret will take out the Ying, and then this could be a Valk. I'm really not sure what Secret will want to remove from the pool at this point. It will be a Kaid instead. I think that's a solid ban to take off the pool. We see Kaid being very powerful on that basement bomb site, especially. And this is likely to be a Mira, maybe an Azami, depending if Canadian wants to keep that operator out. And he will, because he's Troy Canadian and he hates Azami. It's his least favorite op, I assume, because he always bans it.
Yeah, I mean, it's an obstacle. Or, well, she's an obstacle, and she presents obstacles. And
she does.
It makes your job attacking an awful lot easier if you don't have to deal with her. General wisdom with operator bans, if you're newer to the game, is that if you're banning an operator, you know how to play around without the operator. It's not like you're going to ban an Azami and go, well, hold on a second here. What are we going to do now? All of our strategies revolve around this.
You would have to be a pretty bad IGL to ban an op that all of your strategies revolved around.
Give me a few months. I'll get there.
Canadian, I would expect a little bit more from.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one as well. Now, these maps are going to play out very differently. Clubhouse is a huge map, but it tends to be reserved for room-to-room combat. Lots of closer quarters engagement. Bank is very much not the same, especially when you're not in the basement of Bank. Basement of Bank tends to be the more claustrophobic part, but look at all this real estate. You've got the huge lobby. You've got the big open area that has soft walls on either side of it that extend all the way out into break room. You've got the upstairs, which, yeah, in this hallway, it tends to be a little close quarters. If you're going to be defending the upstairs bomb site or open area, you're going to see a lot of CEO and conference and stock and all of that opened up as well. It's going to function very differently. So what's the name of the game? Intel is more important than ever. Intel's important on every single map, but on a map like Bank, if you are not seeing things, you are losing, and you are losing pretty hard. Secret's going to start on attack. What do they have for intel? Well, they've got lots of drones. They've got the Flores, so those Rotero drones, even though they have a timer on them, will still be able to gain information. They have logic bombs as well. On the side of Shopify Rebellion, they brought an Echo.
They have, and it's not Canadian on Echo this time. It will be Grixer, so a bit of a change-up. When Shopify played Bank yesterday against FaZe Clan, they tried to defend basement 3 times, but they were only successful once. This was actually their worst bomb site they played on defense yesterday. Still the strongest site on the map, and I'm sure it's their best site in scrims, so they are choosing to start here like most teams will. There was a little bit of a roam from Surf, who started open area with the hatch open like many teams will, but it fell off pretty quickly. This is, for all intents and purposes, a full anchor strat from Shopify where they're going to try to win on time. That's why they've got the Goyo canisters. That's why they've got the Toxic Babes. The Jaeger is a bit of an interesting strategy. I'm not 100% sure what the goal of it is. Maybe just to stop some smokes. Maybe to stop some flashbangs from going in deep. Might have been a read onto something Team Secret like to do on this bomb site. I'm excited to see if it does come into play. Obviously, those Capitao bolts will fly right on past, though, because only Wamai can counter those.
Curious if there's a person inside of Garage at the moment. Ambi seems to be the only one. Yeah, he is in Garage. So Ambi was the one who's a little bit off-site. This is one of the few bomb sites in all of Rainbow where you can hunker down and put all 5 players in close enough proximity to these bomb sites that you don't get a little bit too claustrophobic. The bottom floor of Clubhouse is very similar, for the record.
Yep.
Goyo canisters will now go. And what is an open map will become a lot smaller for the time being. Canadian is the first casualty on smoke of all operators. That is a terrible loss. I love this drone from Grixer. It can drop down at a moment's notice while also doing double duty and letting them know who exactly is upstairs. Groovy off to a better start than he was on Clubhouse, finding Rexon. And it's a 2-player lead for Secret that grows by 1 as Ambi dies. The drop in from Joom as he's in the midst of smoke. Surf is now dropped, and it's all up to Grixer in a 1v5. Those Echo drones are not going to be particularly effective. He's going to fight his way out of this position. And he's surrounded on all sides by these Secret players. He finds 1 kill onto Joom before being shut down by Savage. And the round goes in favor of the European team.
I probably should just Get your freebies, bro.
Get your freebies, bro.
This is good for us. It's perfect for us, guys. We're gonna give us all the map and make us work to execute. We can work it, guys, okay?
I mean, the clinical attacks are continuing here in the second map of the series. We're seeing some really good stuff come out of Team Secret in that last round. Obviously, with the opening pick coming through, I believe it was Savage or Groovy. They got the opening pick over by main stairs. It was Adrian. I was wrong twice. Got the opening pick on the Canadian by main stairs, and that really did start to cause some panic on the side of Shopify Rebellion. The plants did not start from Virtue until it was already a 1v5. It came out really late. But all of those picks came because Shopify were worried about a plant. They were worried about something happening, so as soon as they lost Canadian in the back lines, they had to start swinging in and around the bomb site, CCTV, just to try to make something happen because they were so concerned about that plant and if it was going down or not. And all Secret had to do was hold their angles. Savage, of course, able to clean up for the majority of those kills, 3K to start the round. Not bad at all for a start from Team Secret. As I mentioned, though, yesterday against FaZe Clan, that was the weakest bomb site for Shopify Rebellion. They will now go to the top floor, which against FaZe Clan, they were 2 for 2 on.
The last map is any indication, speaking about bomb site rotations, Shopify Rebellion does not throw in the towel on a site that is not working, right? We referenced that bottom floor bomb site for Shopify Rebellion on Clubhouse because it was not going so well for them. They went 0 for 3 on their defenses of that bomb site, and yet they still chose to go there in overtime. And not just overtime, but round 15. And that was an incredibly impressive smoke and clash display that we saw on the stairs. And that's them trying new things. That's them committing to strategies that they have, maybe showing something new. This bomb site, familiar ground for them. They've been successful here. Why not go? Let's see how Team Secret can manage the clock this time around. It's a lot harder to take map control on the top floor because there's a lot more layers that you have to deal with on that same floor. When you're attacking down below, you want to see, hey, where is everybody? We very quickly assess that all 5 of them are sitting in the bomb site. Okay, map is done. We don't need to clear it. Just keep an eye on flanks, keep an eye on stairs, and let's go about it. Whereas it's on the top floor, you need to drone the bottom floor. You need to drone this middle floor because these defenders will rotate.
Halfway through the round, and only Joom has entered the building. A lot of players on rappel at the moment, outside different windows. Adrian on the lobby rappel, of course, trying to assist with the Joom walking up those spiral stairs when the time comes. They're being cautious with that, as actually he's going to choose to rotate out. Some util being thrown at Canadian, but he will survive as well. Good drone. This should be a free pick for Savage if he can just find Surf.
Standoff here as he and Joom do serious damage to each other. Both of them will limp away from this fight. Canadian dies early, 2 rounds in a row. He was on smoke yesterday, or earlier in this round, rather. Previous round, now he's on Echo. These are high-value operators that are just as good as gone. It's almost a flawless round previously. This one won't be flawless either as Ambi gets on the board. Down goes Groovy, who's very close to matching his kill total from Clubhouse in just 2 rounds here on Bank. Ambi and Grixer is the last 2 standing. Joom had taken some damage earlier, so he's more killable. He's still got a gun in hand. Finished off by Ambi. Grixer dies to Savage, and Ambi gets dogpiled. It's Adrian on the flank up main stairs to take care of him. Team Secret fought tooth and nail for every inch that they could on Clubhouse and damn near won the map that was picked by Shopify Rebellion. Shopify Rebellion obviously not liking these first 2 rounds. This is a very quick timeout called by their coach Super.
Right, we haven't actually forced them to do anything. They've just had picks.
Yep. I'm not going to run AT at window no more. I'm not doing it.
Right? Like, communicate what we want to fight, what we don't want to fight, and make them do something. Make them prove that they can execute. We're not making them do anything. We're flanking, we're dropping to help, we're giving up sight. These guys, they're not, like, right there, there's 2 people underneath. How are they going to execute? What are they doing? Like, let's relax, communicate together, work together, fight together, be active, but don't overdo it.
I think wise words from the former captain, now former manager, and now coach.
Double down on the safety.
He's really quite the journeyman on the same organization, and then getting picked up by Shopify Rebellion. All of those stats and things that we just referenced were from his time on the Sonics. It's a nice shot by Adrian on to Canadian, who's caught down below. Coaches will tailor their advice depending on the situation, whether they need actual strategy, whether they need motivation, whether they need to be yelled at, etc. In this instance, the advice from Coach Super is play together and just general teamwork needs to improve. I mean, from what we've seen through these 2 rounds, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of early picks going the way of Team Secret. He wants to get that sorted out. Not to point fingers, but Canadian, I believe, back-to-back opening deaths now through the first 2 rounds, playing on operators that you'd like to have in the late rounds.
You were correct, by the way.
Yeah, not exactly the operators and the players that you want to be seeing dying early on the side of Shopify, but Team Secret are doing a good job pinching multiple directions around the bomb site and working these frags without really exposing themselves, right? Without giving themselves up. Talking about how long Team Secret were mostly outside the building in round number 2, and obviously that's going to be bomb site dependent, but that's still something that you can look towards for Team Secret to try to capitalize on and abuse as Shopify do keep going down early. Don't know if we're going to see much the same, though, as this is an operator lineup that could get very explosive very quickly for Team Secret. Wait for these smoke grenades to come out. As soon as you see them, it might signal and execute. I thought that was going to be a nade.
Yeah, I mean, so here's what you do. You take the Nook and you walk in amidst the chaos through a different part of the map that nobody is expecting. You very quickly hit this quadruple panel wall, which is what June is going to do. Throw the smoke out for the glass to do some coverage while the Blitz of Savage walks right in. And then Virtue follows you with the diffuser. And amidst the chaos, you hope that both the Nook and Virtue on that Flores can do some serious damage, but it's all got to be tied together. That's if you want a rush strat. It's entirely possible that they might go for a more structured execute with these tools. Especially since Adrian's now given his position away at ATMs. Doesn't stop the Blitz of Savage from doing some damage. Rexon dies. That's 3 rounds in a row for Team Secret to get the opening pick. And as we noted on Clubhouse, it remains the same here. It has been hugely impactful. Canadian answers back, so there is some life for this Shopify Rebellion team. Savage takes some damage as we see the fadeaway from Ambi, still trying to deal with him. Adrian dies. Virtue with one on to Surf. Both of these teams trading back and forth. Despite this being an open area hold, both Ambi and Canadian find themselves on the bottom floor. That leaves what? Grixer alone inside the site. Diffuser's going down, Nitro Cell ripped. It'll collect onto Virtue. Savage and Groovy, the last 2 live. This is a prolonged engagement. And amidst the site, it's Grixer to tear through 2 of them. Savage, no deaths so far. Grixer gives him his first, and Shopify Rebellion is on the board.
Remain calm, guys. Work the rounds.
Good shit, Bob. Huge.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Basement Putin, run the same one, okay?
What are they doing?
I'm not gonna. Maybe stick a view for the dough.
What do you think they're doing?
Well, they had a couple different plans for that round, Parker. They started off with a wants to push quickly through the square wall, it felt like, but as soon as the Tuberau came out, to stall things out, to stop that immediate site push, they pivoted to go take that top floor.
Okay, so I think they are just trying to...
At that point in time, once top floor was being taken, you see this kind of caught Shopify off guard. They didn't realize how quickly there'd be players in and amongst that the top couple of offices. Then Canadian was able to work a few picks. That was really nice, really impressive from the captain. But then when those last couple of players on Shopify fell down to the site, they really put all of their trust in Grixer to be able to stop that plant while those last couple of players returned back to the bomb site. That could have gotten very bad very quickly, but Grixer is thankfully an incredibly talented individual, and he landed that Nitro Cell exactly where he needed to. Good end-round composure coming out from Grixer. 4-2 now on the round. That's a good start to bring things back, specifically with Canadian turning around in that round and going 2-2 now, but they got to keep up that pace. If they can avoid giving up those early picks, that's going to be important. Notably, they still did lose an early body. It was Rexon who fell on that top floor, so you've got to stop that soon.
Rexon and Surf underperforming on kills is quite poor for Shopify Rebellion. The previous map, both Groovy and Adrian finished with 4 kills. Adrian's at 3, Groovy is at 2. They've very nearly done in 3.5 rounds of action what took them 15 rounds in the previous bout. It's a quick fall off from Shopify Rebellion, and give some kudos to Team Secret for how quickly they were able to drone, how quickly Secret was able to get into open area, and just like that, another bunker defense for Shopify Rebellion.
I will remind you that Rexon's stat line's been a bit of a bellwether for Shopify Rebellion. Through the 4 maps that they've played so far at this event, he's top fragged the team twice, and they won both those maps. And then he's bottom fragged the team twice, and they lost both those maps. An 0-3 start is very concerning if you're a Shopify fan here.
This is a small aside. The use of Bellwether and casting.
Did I use it correctly? I wasn't 100% on
Absolutely.
that. I won't lie.
You for sure did.
Nice.
If Rexon does well, they do well. In political parlance, they used to say, "So go as Ohio goes, so goes the nation." There's also Missouri for a period of time there.
I've never been to Ohio or Missouri.
Yeah, I'm missing. There go those smokes. And with just over a minute to go, this dance around the bomb site can begin. Team Secret are actually well ahead of the timing. And as that fire will linger from the Goyo canister, the fire will be returned at some point by Joom. He's still got 2 of those available. These yokai drones are in position not necessarily to stop the plant, but to gain information. And again, info is the name of the game on a map as big as this. They've broken the laser gates and the fire is ready to go. The yokai drone still inside a server, still scanning. Virtue goes for the defuse, but he has to peel off as there goes a toxic babe thrown out by Canadian, who's now finished off by Savage, who was watching from above. The Aruni also picked apart by Adrian. Team Secret are so good, so good on breaking the ice on all of these rounds. Surf has been dropped, so it's just Grixer and Rexon left, with Virtue getting that diffuser to the point where they might not even need the kills. A flawless round for Secret, yes! It has been Secret all the way down. This is a bank masterclass for the Europeans, and there's very little fight back from Shopify Rebellion.
Kids these days, always on their phone.
Again, guys, basement.
We're also buried in our phones.
Tough one. I thought the util play was really good from Shopify in that round.
I think we can try to do these maybe early even, yeah.
With the fire coming out right as those smokes came through, you saw all the smoke grenades coming out from Secret. They had 4 of them, 2 from the Captain's Tower and 2 from Savage, quite early in that execute. And then a Goyo canister or 2 got popped, and that entire push had to be reset. And it was like, oh no, the game plan from Secret just got thrown out the window by a Goyo canister. But then they started hitting the backside of things. Then they started dropping the hatches. Then they started securing those frags, and that's really what made the difference. Again, it's those early, not even early round picks, but it's the opening gunfights that went the way of Team Secret, that caught Shopify off guard, that gave the early man advantage to Secret. They've been so good at converting those man advantages into round wins time and time again, and that's been the difference maker so far from Team Secret. Super said it in the timeout. He said we've got to stop giving up these early opening picks, but they haven't really been able to. Even when they're slowing down the round, playing more of an objective-focused, sight-focused style of defense, Secret are finding ways to gain that man advantage, and they're never giving it up.
While we're here, not that we want to chase you away, it is a good time to remind you that there is a B stream that is going on. It's not just us talking. Spoilers inbound. NA, who's been having a very good day so far, did not have a good day against the Russian machine that is Virtus Pro. VP defeated OXG, or at least that's what it looks like from the switching on over. Virtus Pro have looked quite good so far at this event. The meta suits them. They seem to be gelling as a unit. Always has been sensational. And Karjeka coming back, just it feels like old times, even if he's a coach and not an active player.
They're always so good on LAN.
It was indeed a 2-0, by the way, for VP. 7-4 on Chalet and then 7-5 on Clubhouse.
Parker, we might have an execute on our hands pretty quickly here with the smoke grenades coming on out.
Jesse, what are you talking about? We're 2 minutes. We're only 1 minute into the round.
It's early, so I'm afraid, but they used all their smokes.
Well,
it's either a very committed fake or I guess it's a very committed fake.
What's that saying? If you don't know what you're doing, your opponents don't know what you're doing. You always keep them guessing. It was a huge utility dump from Secret. They still have X-Kairos, they still have EE1Ds, and they still got their fire arrows. Groovy knows that there's a player over inside of Janitor. It looks like from the silhouette that it's Canadian. It might be Surf. It was indeed Surf who gets picked apart. Ambi gets the very first kill. It's traded back right away, though. Shopify Rebellion has struggled to get that first blood here on Bank, and the one time that they do, it's immediately answered back by Team Secret. Surf yet to find a kill through this first half. 1 minute to go, and another player from this Shopify Rebellion team is spotted. Canadian on the board this round, taking down Joom. Savage very quietly putting together an incredible performance with 10 kills through 4 active rounds. Magnificent.
Yeah, these last couple players on Secret very scattered. One on the roof, one bottom lobby, and one on the windows. They'll try to use their utility here, but it feels like the information is all in the hands of Shopify.
Savage was taking some damage as Groovy is now swung in. Ambi dies. Canadian was waiting by the stairs. His patience is not rewarded. Virtue gets him. That was the intended target. Savage finds 3 kills for his trouble. He's still alive. There's more to be had. Rexon with 1 kill to his name. He's broken that goose egg, and he's reduced Savage to ashes, but those ashes still have a little bit of life in them. Virtue swings through stock, gets the kill, and this right now is Team Secret in full control.
Well, it seemed like they had all the information on Shopify.
Do you think they did?
They did not.
Okay.
Smelled this fucker flanking a mile away. Like,
They had the smell intel. I didn't think they were that level in advance. I didn't factor that in.
They've leaked the new operator, where a device, if you play Rainbow Six, Ubisoft ships a device to your house that you then plug into your console or PC device, and it allows you to smell the operators, almost as if you were a secret canine agent. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary friends, the next operator is a dog. You heard it here first.
You hear the teammates congratulating Savage in that round. He made a really smart call in the 3v4 to get off the window repel, rotate all the way over to main lobby, walk up the spiral stairs, and he was rewarded with a multitude of kills. At the same point, Virtue was just holding the skylight, and I really thought Canadian knew he was there. He definitely had an inkling, but he didn't know with full certainty, and unfortunately, Virtue had a little bit more patience. That paid off. It's 4-1 on Bank attack, and listen, I'll say it, both these teams I think have shown really strong attacks, maybe slightly weaker defenses, at least through map 1. So a 4-1 is not a huge surprise, but this is still starting to spiral for the Rebellion, and they will rely on the least played bomb site to try to claw one more round back before the half.
Teller's Archives is a hell of a thing to see on your screen. It's a deeply unpopular bomb site for a number of reasons. A lot of it hinges on control of this top floor. If you lose this part of the map, it's almost certainly curtains for you and your team. Savage, by the way, is 24-13 through 2 maps, and there is still the back half of Bank to go. Admittedly, if Secret wins this round, there would only potentially be 2 more rounds of the second half, so not a lot of time left. We might be over halfway done with this game. Secret at a read on Rexon, roaming from above. Down goes Surf. Surf still killless at this point. The second half is where he will have to start collecting some frags. Ambi answers back, but it costs him pretty dearly. Savage dies, so most of the kills for Team Secret are now in the ground. June can take over a game. We saw it happen in map number 1. Groovy is also woken up a little bit. Adrian present on a supporting role.
What an arc. He wanted the barricade. He gets it.
He gets it. Ambi firing away, and Groovy re-peaks it. Easy to do with the UMP. Maybe not the best gun in the game, but limited recoil, a very steady pitter-patter. Great for headshots, not so much for body shots. Adrian and June find themselves in quite the predicament here with 1 minute left.
Yeah, not a ton of time. They'll pick up the defuse kit, but low bodies as well. They've conceded the top floor. They're going to group up over by square. Joom is already here. His teammate's not far behind. Freebie on Ambi, you'll take that. Defuse kit's actually going for a stock drop, so these 2 players are very isolated. Of course, bomb sites, archives, tellers, don't forget.
This will be the 3rd time that Shopify Rebellion rely on the yokai drones as the sole quote-unquote player in the bomb site, and they've lost 1. I don't know if Canadian has 1 in reserve somewhere on the map, certainly not in back pocket. It's a nitro cell that goes out. It shuts down the plant in its tracks. Grixer's there. There was coverage from above as well. So Shopify Rebellion had options for when that diffuser went to get planted. An excellent cleanup on the 2 remaining players, but
You got these attacks, guys. Let's go. Work them.
I feel like in a way Team Secret was baited into a trap that a lot of teams fall into on this bomb site, which is you very quickly go for the throat by taking that top floor And if you're not prepared for it and you get punished for it, A, you don't gain control of the top floor, but you blow a lot of your gadgetry. You waste drones, you waste your time. Time in particular is very important. And then you're significantly weaker for when the execute unfolds, and that's exactly what seemed to hit Team Secret.
Yeah, Shopify Rebellion, so good at holding that site, too. They played it yesterday against FaZe Clan and walked away with a W in that round as well. So they're clearly fans of Archives and Tellers, and we may see it even more throughout this tournament if they keep on playing Bank as the days move forward. But now they have to attack, and you heard it from the coach. They believe they've got these attacks. They were very strong on the offense back at Clubhouse. That was a 4-2 half. We've had nothing but 4-2 halves for the attackers. 3 in a row now across both Club and Bank. If that trend continues, then we guarantee an overtime, which is exciting. I know we all want to see that. Maybe less so from the fans of Shopify, but given where the score is at right now, that might be the more realistic chance of a success. 7-5, 7-4, still technically in the cards, though.
Cannot get over how good of a game Savage is having. And
yeah,
I mean, he didn't exactly have the best first map. He got 12 kills, but over 15 rounds, that's not that impressive. 12 kills through 6 rounds is infinitely better.
Savage, as a rookie, attended his first Six Invitational 2 years ago on Team Secret. They lost every single game they played. Now he's back as the team captain in IGL, and he's putting up much better performance, I'll tell you that. It's been incredible seeing his growth over the last couple of years over inside of EU.
He and Virtue are leading the way right now in terms of rating and in terms of kills. Savage will ride the pine for a little bit longer as he's the first casualty in the second half. Canadian losing a lot of HP in the process, but still upright, still with the Blackbeard shield and holding on to the defuse kit. The remaining 4 players of Team Secret all assembled in the bomb site now. Just as we saw from Shopify Rebellion when they were on defense. The old map control for about a minute, maybe a little while longer. Hopefully get a kill. No matter what happens, you get out of that position. Get back to the bomb site. Logic bombs will go off. Joom is the only player on Team Secret who's by one of those mute jammers, so he doesn't need to worry about the annoying phone call ringing through.
That mute jammer, of course, top floor as well. They're just now droning him. They know they haven't droned this yet, and they know there's a jammer up there, so they know it's possible, but they haven't seen him. So that's going to be a threat that's looming in their mind.
You have the opportunity, you can retake map control. That's exactly what Team Secret does here. So only 3 players remaining in the bomb site down below, and there we're getting the panel and panel. Does not look like Joom has been found out. He could thrust a knife deep into the backs of Shopify Rebellion if they're not careful.
Timing is everything.
The good news for Shopify Rebellion is that they have one person who can stay on dedicated flank watch. He will work his way from conference now towards main stairs. Canadian too low on HP to breathe in any more of that gas, so in the final 20 seconds, he'll either have to juggle the diffuser or hope that he's baited them all out. Virtue still has 1 in back pocket. Groovy will retake from above. Rexon is ready for it, controlling the recoil for 1, fails on the second. Surf now has the diffuser, attempting the plant, while 3 other players watch over top. Virtue inside of the wrong bomb site. He has to work his way out. Out-dueling Grixer to start with. They know he's through the soft wall, and well, they can all just fire away. Ambi credited with the kill.
You got some hick ears, boy, to hear that motherfucker.
Shopify Rebellion successful on their very first attack.
What?
Shit, we're gonna make that work, boys. One by one.
Play the IQ, I mean the Vox there as well, Jim.
This is an interesting timeout.
Yeah, 1 round into the half.
And there isn't really cause for concern, I think. Let's listen to what Twister says.
Because they probably will be using like pretty much all rounds from now on. Also, another thing I spoke to Savage as well about the positionings. Once you guys are rotating for them to retake the positions, you guys need to know that they do have a down there indicating a lot onto that. So either we play solids or we rotate at the time that we know that they will be holding us. So we act properly to that, okay? It won't be a surprise or whatever. We just need to play better on these rotates to time because they have mental delay. So the thing is, into the reactions, they will react as smoke. So we can use this gap to just make them. Okay? Let's go. You guys got this.
because they have mental delay.
I'm gonna play mirror.
What a polite way of saying that your opponents are a little bit behind.
I think everybody has a bit of a delay when it comes to, say you find someone on a drone, seeing someone on that drone, calling out the position, that call out being registered by one of your teammates. There's always a bit of a delay there, and I think that sometimes gets lost, especially for casters and viewers who we see everything top down. We can see everything, of course, with full information. Even with perfect information, sometimes giving that information for your teammate can take a bit of time, and if you can spot that gap as Twister wants his teammates to do so, you can really get a lot of free picks, a lot of free movements throughout the round. So that could be a big opportunity for Team Secret. That last round, again, I mean, it didn't feel like Joom on the flank was really that impactful, just given the fact that he went towards main stairs and Shopify weren't pushing down main, so the flank didn't actually end up really mattering. I thought the smoke play was pretty good from Virtue inside the site. It stalled out that plant pretty late, but ultimately it didn't stall it long enough. Good clock management coming through from Shopify Rebellion. Again, I just gotta keep complimenting both these teams on their attacks. They clearly know exactly what they want to get accomplished. They're doing it with good time. They're bringing the correct utility time and time again. It's been really impressive, and this is one of those games that if you want to get better at Rainbow Six Siege, if you're a tier 3 team and you just want to improve, this is a great VOD to go back and watch. Especially if we can go back to all 12 rounds, all 15.
There have been some matches here at the Six Invitational where it hasn't been the prettiest Siege that we've watched. But when you get two incredible teams colliding as these two are, just as we saw with Shopify Rebellion yesterday in their matchup against FaZe Clan, who's another top-tier team. And honestly, FaZe Clan might be one of the favorites to win the whole event. It produces great results. There have obviously been some deficiencies here. Both the coaches have noted that with their respective teams. Admittedly, Super talked about what Shopify Rebellion needed to do, and Twister commented on Shopify Rebellion as well. There hasn't been a lot of chatter about what's going wrong for Team Secret, and that's because if you see the scoreline, not a lot has. If Team Secret survives this map, Lair is the decider between these two squads. Lair, the newest map added to the map pool. It is gigantic. It is also in lore, the home of Deimos, the operator that was added longer ago than I care to admit. It feels like he was one of the most recent operators, but no, that's not the case.
Last time we were on this bomb side, I got tricked by these smokes. The goal is not to execute with these Capitao smokes, it is instead to enable the ace to clear out the mirror window. It's a lot of util for something that an Ash could have just gotten done with one shot, but ultimately, I mean, they do get the breach, and that makes it a lot harder to play inside a Jacuzzi, and they still have those firebolts as well.
Ambi eliminating Virtue. That's a big first pick for Shopify Rebellion. They have struggled to draw blood first through this matchup. The first 4 rounds, first blood was all in the hands of Team Secret. They got another in round 6. Only recently has Shopify Rebellion been getting those first picks, and they still lag behind their opponents. This round has flown by, Jesse. Only 30 seconds remain. And now it's time for Shopify Rebellion to take the engagement directly to them. Ambi botching his shots, sees the Valkyrie and flicking over. Holy shit, Ambi! 3 kills in a row. A quad kill for him. And he gets the ace as well.
Fucking montage out of you!
Oh my fucking god!
What did he do? Was it a mud?
Who's Papa?
He just aced them.
Was it a mud?
Told you go gridlock, bro. We told you go gridlock.
Good thing you finally fucking...
Ambi's making a fucking montage out of you!
What the fuck's he saying? Was that dog's bollocks?
It looked a little tense there for a few moments where he missed a couple shots. This is it. This is where things look like they were going to go bad, but he shrugs off all that damage, goes for the reload, and then collects the final kill. Every single one en route to a flawless round.
I really want to make it clear how impressive that was from Ambi. I was watching the top-down POV that whole round, and Ambi was completely alone at the top of square. All of his teammates were over on the window rappel. He had one guy over by lobby. Inside of square, he was all alone, and he had to fight 3 people at once. A guy coming from janitor, a guy from stock, and a guy flanking up the square stairs, all of whom were solely focused on killing Ambi, all of whom died. That was the clean 3K in the middle of his ace, a perfect sandwich to clean up the round, and Ambi munched it down. Once again, the youngest player at the Six Invitational for the 2nd year in a row, doing it against the team who has both the oldest player in Virtue and the 2nd youngest in Adrian. He's just showing him how it's done. Impressive stuff from Ambi. In back-to-back maps, he has performed, and wow. What a statement to make on the gridlock. I think he'll be playing this up quite a bit going forward. Just a guess for the rest of this map.
They told him to play gridlock. They said it themselves. They said, we told you to play gridlock.
I heard them say that they said that, yeah.
I heard them say that, and then I heard you say that you heard them say that as well.
Yeah.
People sleep on the F90. Gridlock brings an awful lot to the table these days. Gridlock used to be known for the super shorty and the smokes. The track stingers were good for a variety of applications. Originally, when she and Mozzie were released as operators, people liked the noise that the track stingers created because it concealed movement and it concealed the ability to plant the diffuser. Lately, Ram's boogie drones do an awful lot more and make just as much of a racket. But that F90 is deceptively good, and I think people might be waking up to how strong it is. Team Secret burned their timeout, by the way, just before we saw that flawless round from Shopify Rebellion.
That could be the tilter. We're not done, though. Top floor. That's going to be Ambi immediately downed here instead of that ace that he was able to accomplish the last round. He is able to get picked up, most likely. He's bleeding out at the moment, but there's no defenders anywhere near him, so with time, they should be able to recover Ambi. They're very concerned, though, on the side of Shopify. They know how many players in Team Secret there are lurking around the map, and especially Joom. This is a position that seemingly has gone unnoticed.
They're so fixated on that elevator play upstairs that they've let one wander by. Rexon with the very first kill. It's on to Adrian. Gruby is also on a single point of HP. This is back-to-back bad games for Gruby. He started off strong. He got 2 kills in the first 2 rounds. He's had nothing since then. We haven't really focused a lot on Surf because he's been playing those more support-oriented operators, so it's not his goal to get kills, but it'd be nice maybe if he got 1 or 2 for his team. I'm certain of that. Rubber must hit the road here for Shopify Rebellion. As we're down to the final 20 seconds, Virtue on the board. Team Secret also on the board because of it. Joom finished off by Ambi. One is tucked away behind the cubby. It's the Soulless. Rexon saw him. It's just Rexon and Ambi remaining. Gruby with the Nitro Cell takes down Rexon, and Ambi will need to walk in and grab the defuse kit, which he won't be able to do. He comes up empty-handed, and Team Secret wins off of the clock as 3 players across both teams survive to the bitter end.
So slow, guys. We can force them to execute, guys. We also know how to play against execute, guys. If we play our turtle here, we'll fuck them up, guys. I'm gonna play instead of the tutorial. I'm gonna play the Mozzie. Try to bait, guys. That it's a roam, guys. Don't show that it's a full turtle, okay?
I want to give some credit to Gruby that round. He played fantastic on just a sliver of HP. He moved down to the basement and sat there for a very long time. It was his Nitro that eventually killed Rexon with the defuse kit. It came up through the open area hatch to destroy Rexon as he was coming in the door just past beepers. If he doesn't get that Nitro Cell off, Rexon gets into a great plant spot just under the stock hatch. He can put that defuse kit on the ground, and it's a completely different round. With 1 health, Gruby makes all the difference. And nothing is given in this matchup between Secret and Shopify Rebellion. It doesn't matter if you have a highlight hero play. The mental won't be broken. There is no freebies. This game will be difficult until the bitter end, and Secret are going to remind Rebellion of that fact. It just feels like every single round is a new day. Neither of these teams are letting the mental slip. They're both continuing to play at their best.
Every round sounds like a new day. Would you say that it's 0-0 then, Jesse?
If it's 0-0, Parker.
Every round is 0-0.
He was right all along.
Super was right. If Super says it. I'm watching the skin, by the way, that all of Shopify Rebellion are running, and it looks like a Blackbeard skin. Am I so far off? Am I so far off with my knowledge of Rainbow Six skins these days that I haven't noticed what they're running?
Is it the new Universal?
Might be.
New release of Blackbeard. Savage is the lone roamer once again on this bomb site.
He broke 12 kills several rounds ago and has shown little since then as he makes his way back to the bomb site to lick his wounds. Ambi, after that terrific round just 6 minutes ago, is now the first death in a very pivotal round for both of these teams. If Secret prevails, they move to match point. If it's Shopify Rebellion to win this round, it means we need all 12 in regulation, just as we did on Clubhouse. The way that they've been playing, I think if Secret wins this round, they're in excellent shape to push us to Lair. But when you've got two teams this evenly matched, nothing is predictable at all.
And still plenty for Shopify to come up to an answer for. We still have a lot of hatches. Surf is starting to work on all of these now. You see him starting to open these up. I think they realize that they don't have a great opportunity to clear out the Goyo canisters. There's still Toxic Babes, mirror windows in sight. They might be aiming for more of a back hit here. It depends really where Canadian wants to bring that defuse kit. Server is still a great option, especially with Grixer having the switch drone in the back. They've got a lot of players situated around the map. It wouldn't surprise me if one or two players wanted to hit that main stairs, maybe drop in through gold, make some kind of a play. Grixer in particular. He's been clearing those Goyo canisters. Rexon's here by elevators. It will be Server, though, for the brunt of this push. So that's going to be more back pressure, trying to focus on the frags.
I don't think they can get in through that lineup that is on the wall.
They do have a can opener on Canadian. Maybe?
They cannot get it.
That's going to be so awkward.
This is brutal. This might be the round for Shopify Rebellion, but Surf's going to run in and go for the plant amidst the frenzy. There goes Joom, there goes Savage. Shopify Rebellion covering Surf perfectly as he pulls it off. How do they scramble in the post plan? A Nitro Cell used to no effect. Last gas canister hucked out by Virtue. Canadian on the ground, sees multiple bodies, finds one, but no more than that. The Goyo retaking from above as Adrian levels Rexon. Surf and Grixer still alive. There goes the Goyo as Grixer was holding that upstairs. It leaves Groovy on site to try and retake. Surf has scooted off to the escape tunnel. Groovy's gonna run out of time. There's no way for him to be able to get back to the bomb site in time, even if he got these 2 kills. That's the round for Shopify Rebellion. And Jesse, we need all 12 in regulation to solve this. The round goes to Shopify Rebellion. They're tied 5 rounds apiece.
You got that shit, Dave. You got it on you. I almost had him.
Good patience. Work the rounds, boys. Come on.
Good call, though. Bro, this motherfucker Matt me.
It's a dogfight, boys. Let's go.
So that is Ashen.
Different team.
Different team entirely.
SSG game might be starting soon on the B stream, I would guess.
How'd you guess?
Keep fighting.
Listen, focusing up on our NA team, Surf might be the greatest player going 0-8 that I've seen in a minute. That decision to go in with the defuse kit inside of Server was so bold to jump onto the plant spot on the bomb chassis. I thought for sure, without that wall being opened up fully, they were screwed in that round, but he found a plant spot amidst the chaos. Groovy was in the site with a Nitro Cell. Virtue was in the site with a Toxic Babe. None of them came out. Surf was able to trust on his teammates to hit that cover to make sure that plant would not be denied. He never stopped holding F, and that's the sign of a good support player. Even in the post plant, fell all the way back to Dirt Tunnel, did not give up an inch, hiding until it was already a done decision and the round was won. Brilliant play, despite the fact that Surf has yet to find a kill this map.
There are 2 things that I would like to know from the perspective of Team Secret. Number 1 was, where did that Nitro Cell go? We heard it go off, but it blew up on the wrong side of the bomb, which meant that it didn't impact Surf at all. The other one I want to know is, did they see him cross? Because if you remember, there was explosions, there was gunfire, and there was the toxic canister that had been thrown out. Surf took advantage of that, took some damage, but soldiered on. It's entirely within the realm of possibility, Jesse, that nobody in Team Secret saw him enter, and none of them knew the diffuser was going down, which explains their reluctance to push up off of their positions in the back of the bomb site.
We heard Twister talking about finding that gap, exposing a gap in information, and Surf kind of doing the exact same thing here against Team Secret.
This has really been a battle of the ages.
Running double shield for the top floor. Rexon and Canadian both on the Blackbeard and Blitz. Monty banned out by Shopify Rebellion.
There goes a Nitro Cell on to Canadian. Goodbye to the Blitz. Grixer getting Diffuser down as Ambi dies. There's another Nitro Cell. It claims Groovy, but I'd say this is very worth it for Team Secret. Shopify Rebellion were trying to put the defenders on the ropes. It does not work out. Rexon and Surf will now need to go back to the drawing board with half of the round to go. Neither of them with the Diffuse kit. Problem is, it's in the Lion's Den. That Nitro Cell claimed the Diffuse Planter's life, meaning you've got to retrieve it. That is tough. I think Rexon's got a beat on one of these players. He knows the mute is there. Surf trades himself out, and Rexon goes for the gunfight, loses the 50-50. Adrian with the final kill, and it seems Secret on map point, 1 round away from sending us to map 3.
Credit to Shopify, they did a good job denying the Nitro from Janitor. They didn't get the kills. Joom still killed both Canadian and Ambi, who were tasked with that goal, but they at least distracted while Plant was going down. Yeah, this was Joom, who they wanted to be worried about. They thought that was going to be the problem, but instead it was Savage, who also was able to move into Janitor. The fact that they had 2 players playing that position really made all the difference. One was able to watch for that blitz play coming out from top square, and the other one was able to step up and have the plant denial that was needed. Excellently done from Secret, and they will get match point here on their own map pick. Looking to force Lair 6-5, but Parker, I can smell the overtime. I've adopted the same thing that Team Secret had not too many rounds.
Are you the new dog op coming to Rainbow Six Siege?
That's correct.
Smell-o-vision.
I've got the smell-o-vision tuned in, I'm sure.
What does
head all the way 50.
What does overtime smell like?
It smells delicious, like a fresh turkey dinner on Thanksgiving.
American Thanksgiving or Canadian Thanksgiving?
Canadian Thanksgiving, Parker.
Significantly better. I agree with you.
Far better.
Perfect. Who puts Thanksgiving so close to Christmas? Get over yourselves.
It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely absurd. What do you think about moving Christmas to January so we get more winter before the celebrations end?
More winter before the celebrations end?
I hate that nowadays it feels like winter has barely begun when we celebrate Christmas, and then all the winter comes and we're just like, what are we looking forward to? Like Valentine's Day, maybe spring break, ridiculous.
The Six Invitational, how about?
I forgot about that one.
Most important one of all.
When is it?
It's February 3rd to 16th, Parker.
And where can we watch it?
We can watch it on twitch.tv/Rainbow6, but I'm pretty sure the people already know that.
Thank you for telling me. Can't wait to watch all my favorite teams compete.
I can't wait to watch Secret and Shopify Rebellion in round number 12.
Boy, do I have good news for you. We're doing that right now.
Oh, I haven't heard anything more beautiful in my entire life. This is a bit of an opportunity as Savage extends past his Mira window. It's a very convoluted top floor hold with castle barricades and Miras. Savage is going to be in for a world of hurt as Ambi is still top square on his most favorite operator. He's still outside, so yet to really get in the gunfight, but could strike at any moment.
He's got these defenders on the run. Savage has been put into a really tough spot. He can drop. He's got the hatch next to him inside a Janitor, but will he opt to take it? Down goes Savage to Rexon. Shopify Rebellion just needs 4 more kills, and they've pushed us to OT. They'll get the Capkin as well, at least the down. A grenade tossed out. Will it connect on to Joom? Does not sound like it. Joom is killed off by Ambi. Groovy is down now as well. It's just Virtue and Adrian. Things falling by the wayside. Adrian all the way down inside the lobby, tries for a kill on Repel, gets nothing, and now it's Shopify Rebellion to potentially get a flawless round, just as they did moments ago with Ambi, but this time it's a bit more of a team effort. Surf as well with 2 kills. Down goes Grixer at the hands of Virtue, but his position in main lobby has been given away. Up that spiral staircase he will go. It's an open area defense for Team Secret. Virtue might as well already be on Lair with how far away he is. No opportunity to get down. He doesn't have impacts. He brought the bulletproof camera as his secondary. He's got 1 goo mine in pocket, but that's about it. Realization spread across his face as he knew exactly what the end result would be of that round. And Shopify Rebellion send us to OT, and it smells like turkey in here.
Oh, it sure does, Parker, and it is so sweet.
Turkey's not supposed to be sweet.
That's your basement, and
I'm making bad
I
turkey.
think we can do something similar to the turtles. Just make sure we can actually reinforce walls. We can bring the same mobs. I'm going to bring Capcan. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to play fast with Lair on the...
We were having a conversation in the green room right before this game, and it was me, Dev, Marta, and Pengu, and we were talking about call-outs and what we call certain things in our former teams, and for me and Dev, Marta, at rank stacks. And Pengu said that back in the day on Penta, they used to call a player who was miles away in Narnia. And in that round in the 1v5, it was quite clear that, that Virtue was in Narnia in the final parts of that round. Whatever they may call it at the end, it is clear that he was unable to have any impact in the 1v4. No shot at clutching that one up, which means we're headed to OT, as you said, Parker, and it's going to be Team Secret that start on the defense.
4-2 halves across the board, as you discussed at the end of the first half. Obviously, because we go to OT, it's been mirrored. The attackers with a decided advantage here on this map. Right now, 2/3 of all rounds won by the attackers. That's very good for Shopify Rebellion as they get to attack twice. Sometimes goofy things happen in overtime where we see that flip and the other side gets a decided advantage and obviously benefits Secret. This first round is going to tell us the full story. There have been consistency issues here for both teams. It's been site dependent, it's been operator lineup dependent. Shopify Rebellion bringing some different tools. No shield operators, Ambi on a hard breacher. Surf on hard breach as well. Got to keep both of them alive if you want to deal with this bottom floor bomb site.
Personally, I got my eyes on June to start this round. 21-year-old German entry fraggers had a bit of a tough game, 6 and 11. He's playing an aggressive position inside of the elevators. June is 21.
He looks much older than that.
Yeah, well.
A distinguished man.
That he is, and very talented at that. Might not be the point of content, though.
Speaking of June, being hounded by that logic bomb. He gets spotted by a drone. He's got to fade away with the hatch. Rexon is right next door in the next lift. June fakes a fall, but doesn't go anywhere. Still holding on this position. I don't know if they just picked him up on drone. Ambi taking some damage, likely from an EDD.
All right.
And now June will fade away.
Savage, though. Went for the cheeky swing. He almost had that. Again, he's been very good this map. Slower over the last couple of rounds. The second half, not as kind as the first, but still absolutely capable of making some magic happen. You heard it between the rounds, said he'd pick up that cap can. Haven't found any kills off it. Ambi's taking a bit of damage. That might have been a cap can explosion. I didn't quite catch it. Hatch is now opening. Minute left on the clock for Shopify. They've got that server hatch and server control along with it. It's going to likely be a default plant just inside of CC, as we often see from Shopify through this round. Drones are in, bulletproof, rats as well.
It doesn't look like they'll make the same mistake that they did on that wall in previous attempts, Jesse, as they've opened it up. I don't know if you'll be able to walk in. You might need a hop, which is not ideal. It makes you vulnerable for a brief period of time. Rexon is on flank duty for the time being. Surf is looking for a drop over towards red. You've got full utility on the Capitao with 30 seconds to go. Last logic bomb will ring for the next few seconds. Invaluable information as Surf takes an awful lot of damage. Trading out Joom, Groovy falls shortly thereafter. They've isolated another player over inside of red. Surf botches the play, and because of that, Savage can persist. But there's so many players for Shopify Rebellion. Adrian takes the fight directly to these players, but it's Rexon who is on flank watch to drop into the engagement and seal the deal on the round.
Reset.
Right as the F0 took his vision away. Shopify Rebellion looking for the knockout blow on Team Secret. 1 round away from a 2-0 victory for the North Americans.
No, don't go basement. I think we do the, we're trying to do the open mirror. The open mirror.
Okay, open mirror was good.
Open area with a mirror will be the call for Shopify Rebellion. What a close round that one we just witnessed was. The execute down on that bottom floor, it was scrappy. It was not clean. We saw so many issues coming back and forth. Obviously, Surf in that one moment, not able to get it done. Groovy, I'm shocked he never moved. That rat spot got droned out ages ago, and he still just decided to lay down inside the bomb site. You know, overtime, round 13, such a hype tournament like this. I don't hate the call, but once you get droned, you've got to reposition. He chose not to. I believe it was 2 players left alive. Canadian, if you noticed it as well, pulled off the plant at the last second. He would have had to hold F and go right back to it. If Rexon had lost that final gunfight, if he had gone down, forced Canadian in a 1v1, who knows how that could have finished. But thankfully, Rexon's a hero, and he found that final frag.
How many of these rounds have been too close for comfort?
All of them. Feels like at least.
That little exasperated sigh you did at the end there was extremely genuine.
I think it was Savage who earlier on in this game typed, "You guys sure love to throw rounds, huh?" Throw advantages.
Yeah, that was on the downstairs bomb site of Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm. They love to give their fans heart attacks, Shopify do. Feels like an NA thing, isn't it?
NA had a really terrible day yesterday, and a bunch of the teams all got together and said, hey, what if we do better today? And most of the teams were like, okay, and then Oxygen was the only team that was like, maybe.
Oxygen boycotted that meeting.
Yes, they did not show up. Space Station is in action in probably actually right now, frankly.
Yeah, Ashton screamed about 20 minutes ago.
We did hear him yelling. They're playing versus Scars. To cap off this channel, we will have FaZe Clan going up against CAG Osaka Cyclops with a stunning victory yesterday.
Yep.
We are in an odd predicament where we could be 3 minutes away from the end of this match or an hour and 20 minutes away from the end of this match. Team Secret will need to win 2 rounds in a row. They're on the favored side at the moment, Jesse. And they've used about half of the clock for a discovery still. Savage hears the nitro cell. Does he know that Canadian is standing really close by? Canadian takes out Joom. Did he see him? I don't know if Canadian has the reflexes for this.
I don't think he knows. Maybe? No, he saw. He knows.
I take Savage in this fight. What do you say?
I mean, Savage is 16-8.
And Canadian's 900 years old.
Yeah.
They're trying to get him through the wall and put him in an awkward spot. All the while, Shopify Rebellion have 4 other players that could be coming to assist. Canadian gets flushed out very well by Team Secret. It wasn't just all on Savage, but they just spent about 30 seconds doing that. Adrian dies to Ambi, who then hits the drop back into the basement. And they'll be able to loop around. Virtue holding Diffuser, Savage going on a hunting mission over towards open area. And with just a little bit under a minute to go, this is going to get tough for Team Secret if they don't hurry. But they flushed out Grixer. The coordination here from Secret is so good.
The cross, it doesn't pay off for him, and that was down to a 3v3. It's going to have to be a cafeteria plant. Nobody inside of Secret is anywhere near the other bomb site, so pay attention to this. All 3 players are going to be coming in the same direction. Virtue just in the closet. He's got that defuse kit. Ruby trying to hit the side here, coming in through Archives.
Savage is worried about a flank, which is where we saw Ambi drop from. They've got to go.
Yeah, 50.
You've got to go. There's an objective to do here, lads. You got to get into the bomb site to accomplish it. Nice read from Groovy onto Surf, punishing him from over towards Copier. Nitro Cell goes out, but it misses. Rexon and Ambi now put in a terrible spot. The cross is held so well from Team Secret. Popping up. Ambi tries his damnedest, but it's not enough.
We got things. Last round. What do you guys want to go, boys?
Excellent recovery on multiple occasions from Team Secret. They muscled out that round. And yet again, all 15 rounds are needed, Jesse.
You think they're going to go scrap again?
Good things take time, and that push was no exception. The flush out of Grixer to make the man count even at 3-3. Then they didn't push until there was like 10 seconds on the clock. But why? They were repositioning over on the printer window. That was just what was needed to gain the man advantage. And then the Nitro Cell, you thought for sure it was going to go the distance, but from the top-down POV, I could tell it just fell a little short. It was a close plant. He knew where the plant was going, but unfortunately, it just didn't go far enough. That pickup from Groovy was round-defining. And then Savage with the pistol right after. Or Virtue, excuse me. Finishes things off with the final frag. We need all 15. You know, it was the Stage 2 North American League Finals where we saw all 45 rounds between Dark Zero and Sonics, now known as Shopify Rebellion. It's too early to say it, but lightning could strike twice.
So I said we could be 3 minutes away from the end. We could be an hour and some odd away. If Secret pulls it off on this round, then we go to Lair, and with the way these teams are playing, I don't think it's going to be a quick one. Laxing actually made a great point when we were in the pre-show of this match, or at least after map 1, and he said, Troy, this isn't DZ anymore. You don't need to keep giving your fans heart attack. Look, you can take the man out of DZ, but you can't take the DZ out of the man.
Whatever team he's on, Canadian's going to be risking it all on an OSA play. This is how FaZe Clan game ended for Shopify yesterday, and that did not end in success.
What do you think of OSA?
I think OSA's a fairly weak operator, Parker.
Canadian loves these shield ops, whether it's Blackbeard, whether it's Monty Blitz, whether it's OSA. Monty being banned out has not exactly been a hurdle for Shopify Rebellion, but has definitely weakened them a bit.
Note that there's 4 Nitro Cells on the side of Team Secret. This is the biggest counter to an OSA. If Canadian is trying to plant under a shield, or if he's trying to set up the shield, or if he's trying to move in with the shield, if he at any point in time is dealing with that shield, a single Nitro Cell will kill Canadian, destroy all of his utility, and completely throw the game plan out the window for Shopify Rebellion. How on earth are they going to dodge all of that utility with 4 players alive?
Yeah, I mean, now there's a Nitro Cell with each of the remaining players on Shopify Rebellion's names on it. Surf, who has had, to put it lightly, quite a poor game, both utility-wise and fragging-wise, will be gone in this final round. Shopify Rebellion will have to play down a man, and without that Ashe utility at their disposal. So what do? Canadian will walk in the OSA shield. Right now over towards Pillar. Joom taking some damage, but Savage pops up and says night-night to the captain of Shopify Rebellion. Team Secret have quite a great start to this round. We approach the execute. Just a little bit after 1 minute on the clock. Diffuser retrieved by Ambi. You're gonna need a couple swift kills here. There goes 2 of the Nitro Cells. Crept up on as Adrian sees an opportunity. Grixer's last alive. And a flawless end to the second map. Team Secret take their own. I hope none of you have plans because it's gonna be a long night. What a performance by both teams. But in a game of inches, all it takes is 1 more than your opponent. And in this case, Team Secret wins their own map. We go to Lair next to see which of these 2 teams in what is now a best-of-1 shootout wins it all. We'll be back in a few minutes with more Team Secret and Shopify Rebellion.
Well, if you needed any more convincing that this was going to be the series of the day, we have one more map to come. But before we get there, we're going to break down what was a really interesting bank. A lot of back and forth in this one, Lax, and still entertaining as ever, but it certainly was a ping pong.
I mean, it was a battle of attrition for sure. It was really what team was going to figure out and get it done right on their defensive half, because what we were seeing with the majority of these rounds on both ends was coming off of their attacking end. Eventually, it does come to a close after a long back and forth and a ping pong match of Secret getting it done, but some rounds really could have went either way, but ultimately Secret do get it done on their map, and they got to feel good that they can close it out and push to a third map.
I think we're getting used to the point of seeing Shopify Rebellion just going the distance. I mean, that's just how they're set up, is constantly trying to out-adapt the other team. But I got to commend Secret. They didn't let that happen. They never really let Shopify Rebellion set up. They would go for these aggressive gunfights. And even when they would have the advantage, while Shopify Rebellion is still setting up, they would handle more aggression. I think they kept Shopify Rebellion on their toes. It was some lights out performances from Secret, and the map really played to their strength.
Tell you what, 30 rounds between only two maps of these two teams. It's only fair and just that we do go to a third, but there's been a lot of moments throughout that we've talked about, especially off camera. We were looking at certain moments, certain rounds that turned the tides, a lot of war of attrition. There was so, like, as a general viewer, watching that game, there were rounds that felt like quintessential Siege. It felt like it just backed in what the strategy of this game really is.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of big hero plays, too. I mean, Savage, you look at that, their in-game leader dropping 19 and 8. That is such an impressive feat. And then on the other end, on the bottom, Surf. You highlighted Surf going into this. We compared him in Montreal, where he was a top 3 player. We need to see that Surf. Not we need to see it. Shopify Rebellion need him to come alive, coming into this third map.
Yeah, it's a little bit unlucky. Every single time that I mention a player, mention a team, they just start doing bad. I mean, it's not what you like to see, but these are just challenges of, you know, in Montreal, Surf didn't have any expectations. Now he has the expectations, and he's falling a little short. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's impossible to do so, but it is a mental battle. I do think Shopify Rebellion has it in the tank to get there. I mean, they had 3 players over 10 kills, double digits. So that in itself still is a really big task. They filled a lot of shoes. They just fell short at the last end, which I do think it came down to Secret's readability and the way that they were adapting off of each other. I mean, we even talked about one of the pivotal rounds at the end where Grubby was making amazing rotates, single-handedly winning and covering the defuse. I think Shopify Rebellion got a little caught off guard with how fast Secret was, and that was the downfall.
Just really quickly, how noticeable was the Monty not being in
I think
play?
it was tremendously impactful in this game. I think, honestly, that ban hurt Shopify Rebellion more than it actually did them a service. So I'm expecting going into this next map, hopefully a Monty will be up. I will expect it to be banned overall.
Yeah.
But again, I do really think that Monty ban is what truly affected Shopify Rebellion more than anything else.
I agree, because Canadian does his best IGLing behind the shield. We saw that on Clubhouse.
Yep.
And when you took away the Monty and they were using Osa as a substitute, it didn't really feel good watching that. It seemed like it was a little clunky, little chunky. After the first 2 maps that we've seen so far, I would like to hope that Shopify Rebellion is understanding that Blackbeard is actually the shield that is causing them the most amount of issues.
Sure.
Yeah. Secret's been using it very well, especially to get aggressive positioning. So if they are going to ban a shield, I'm looking for the BB ban.
Well, I'll say one thing. Monty or not, it doesn't matter. Lair is what is needed. We revert back to a best of 1 on the other side of this short break.
Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back to the back to the back to the back to the back. Take it back, take it back. Back it up, 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 back it up. Take it back, take it back. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back it up, back it up. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Let me take it back to the realness, feel this. Back to the back to the back to the back to the back.
It's no secret that this was going to be a close matchup, but it has absolutely delivered. 30 rounds across 2 maps, Lax. We move to Lair now. What are your concerns? What are your takeaways from map 1 and 2 we need to know for this?
I mean, realistically, both these teams, this isn't like the best map for either team. It isn't the worst. I believe Secret is 2-1 for their record, and Shopify Rebellion is 1-1. So realistically, what this is going to come down to me, it's going to go back to that Monty ban that I was talking about. If Monty is left up, I can see Troy taking full advantage of that and trying to play a vertical play and trying to use a buck from a below, leading the charge, understanding a site setup, and trying to take advantage there. But if I don't see that, then it's going to be a situation on Troy of being able to adapt and be able to understand of how he wants to move his pieces and collapse and condense a site.
I completely agree. I think Lair is way more set up for structure and strategy as opposed to just gunfights. What I want to see from Secret is maintaining that level of aggression, because it's a map that you can't just sit back and let things transpire. Shopify Rebellion, strategically, they love the vertical play on this map. It is a fan favorite for North American teams. Secret, on the other hand, they like to win it just straight out with gunfights, and we're going to need to see the aggression just to be maintained. If that doesn't happen, then either way, I see this game going to overtime.
It's been fun to watch, but I've got to ask you one question. I'm going to throw it back to the start of this pre-show when we were breaking it down. Has June lived up to the expectations in this one?
Oh, absolutely. 110%.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, what more can you say? I mean, the first game he was popping off. Second game, sure, he wasn't at the top of the leaderboard, but he was still there getting the job done, creating entry, creating space. But, I mean, a player for me that's going to stick out the most here is Savage. Can he replicate the performance that he just had on Bank and duplicate that here now going into Lair while also leading that charge as their IGL?
So your guy you're backing is Joom. The guy I'm backing is Surf. I wonder what's going to happen. Turn up, map 3, we need you.
Let's not wait any longer. Let's get across to our incredible duo. I love them with all my heart. Parker, man, you make this no easier. It's never easy with you, is it?
Nope.
Doesn't make it easy at all. All we want is a good game, and you're here snacking. What is this?
It's a good game. You got popcorn.
That's fair.
Honestly, Jesse, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Where's your popcorn?
Enjoy
Why
the match.
did I ever leave the desk?
Enjoy
What
the
is
rest
the
of
point?
I don't know why you did. You
It's not,
could've
even
been
it's not a desk anymore.
No,
You could've
stay
been.
there.
It's a standing area. But anyway, it's time for this match to get underway. Jesse, I hope you enjoy, and Parker, yeah.
You want some?
No, Pete.
Listen, Parker, I'm hungry, but I'm not hungry for your popcorn. I'm hungry for a great game, just like Canadian, Savage, and the rest of the players in this lobby who are hungry for the win on Rainbow Six Siege's newest map, which is, of course, Lair, that we get to see between these two teams. And what a treat to be able to watch such a map in such a series with both teams playing at such a level.
What is going on with this community vote? So you had Team Secret and Shopify Rebellion relatively even. Shopify Rebellion wins the map, and then it goes 50-50. Then Team Secret wins the map, and then more of you decide, no, we're going to give it to Shopify Rebellion. It doesn't really make any sense.
They reward vibes, Parker. That's all it is. They know that Shopify Rebellion have been in a 45-round series before. They did it not too long ago against Dark Zero. They could do it again. Here against Team Secret, they'll be ready, they'll be practiced, and they will be explosive in the server as we jump on in to the operator bands of Lair. Once again, the winner of this series will secure their first win at the Six Invitational. Secret will not get the first ban. Oh, Secret will get the first ban. It is a HUD bug, just to be clear. So Team Secret will ban out the Blitz, and now Shopify Rebellion as the attacking team will get the next two set of bans. Will they ban a shield? They will continue to remove the Monty. So our analysts, their advice not being heeded, as Monty again going to be removed by the Canadian-led team. Azami would be the expected second operator to be taken off of the board by Shopify Rebellion, and it will be locked in the Azami ban, which means that the final ban will be given to Secret. I really had no idea what they were going to ban, just because we haven't seen Secret play this map in so long. I thought maybe a Mira. There's lots of options out there, of course, on a map like Lair. They will stick tried and true and take out the Kaid just as they did previously in this matchup, meaning we have the stage, it is set, and we are ready to get into things. The action starting very shortly here on Lair.
I would need more popcorn.
Well, Parker, you can't, because you can't cast with popcorn in your mouth.
Want to bet?
Yeah.
You do want to bet?
No, don't eat popcorn live on the.
You just littered by smacking my gift to you out of my hands.
Where did that even go? Did you pick it up?
Just custodians.
Oh, so you're just gonna leave it to everybody else, huh?
It never actually left my hand.
Oh. So I didn't litter.
Mouth.
So you just lied to me. I didn't litter at all.
You attempted to, and that's just as bad.
Listen, if attempted littering is a crime, then lock me up.
All right. Police. They're going to deport you.
For littering. You're right. Actually, I can't say that.
You committed crimes. You must go. I'm sorry. just those are the rules. You're not allowed to be here anymore.
Is hiding a crime?
No.
Hiding from the authorities of the drones.
I don't think Virtue is guilty of that as we slowly pan over to him hiding.
Playing on the Clash, wants to keep that operator secret.
If hiding was a crime, every child who played hide and seek would be a criminal.
Okay,
a baby criminal.
What if you're hiding from the law, also known as Ambi?
Is Ambi the law?
I mean, he was on map too.
I'm sure somebody who knows, it's true. I'm sure somebody who knows the lore better than me can dive into this, but were any of the CTUs, were they ever cops, like police? I'm sure somebody's gonna be like.
Wasn't Clash? Isn't that in her lore? She's like a London police officer?
She, as a cop, is hiding from the cops. I think that's very fitting. think that's very, very fitting.
All right. You know,
On a map like Lair, there are lots of places for you to hide. For the record, it is a huge map. Not only is the map inside humongous, but all of the exterior portions of this map are also large. That whole middle floor can be roamed around outside. Rexon has already made his way into the building, by the way. Down goes Groovy. Rexon inside of operations, by the way, tends to be one of the main ways into this map. He's already found his way towards the bomb site.
that is correct. Ops is often one of those places that you tend to see the entry point for the attackers, and so not making any changes on the side of Shopify Rebellion. Both these teams obviously have a bit of experience on this map, not a ton, because it is so new into the map pool. Both about an even record, more or less. That's a questionable swing from Adrian, punished by Ambi.
Swinger be swung is what they say, and in this instance, well, he swung. And it was not good. Joom on the flank, but right as those sends distortion fields end, Ambi collects the kill. It was a flawless end to the most previous map that we had. Can Savage keep it as a flawless? I mean, no, well, I guess the opposite.
Easy fucking peasy. Easy peasy.
While we were in between maps, I walked by the Shopify Rebellion huddle, and Super said something very, very simple.
Let's go, boys.
His exact words were, if we play our Lair, we win, no question.
If they do bonks,
Which is perfect. If they can play their game, if they can set the pace and the tempo, as it just shows they did on that very first round, that was very obviously Shopify Rebellion setting the tempo and not being at the mercy of the defensive setup from Team Secret. If Shopify Rebellion can keep doing that, they're going to prevail here in the match. It was an excellent entry using their gadgetry and tools as best as they could, and they win it flawlessly. Not a single member from Team Secret on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they made it look lemon squeezy. And part of that, of course, was Team Secret going for a lot of quite early and quite eager swings. Undisciplined, it felt like. You saw that replay of Rexon's first pickup in the round for the entry engagement. Then, of course, we saw that second swing out from Groovy as well, over towards the main stairs inside of lobby, which were punished. Shopify were ready for those bursts of aggression that Secret wanted to deliver. I want to see Secret maybe rein that in a little bit. I don't mind going for a roam. I don't mind going for flanks. That's fine if they're together and they're well-timed. But those swings, they didn't really feel like they were happening off of intel. They didn't feel like they were happening out of necessity. They felt like they were happening out of boredom almost. Like they didn't know where Rebellion were, and that might maybe highlight a bit of inexperience with this map. I will say they won it back in Montreal, a 7-4 victory over BDS of all teams. So they are certainly experienced on this map. They have a couple of plays, but with any team, this is going to be their least played map of recent times just because it is still so new.
Ambi's already found his way in. Not far removed from what is usually the most popular bomb site, which is that Rainbow Six-room bomb site upstairs. He'll just roam clear for the time being, and again, this is a monstrously large map. Operators like Dokkaebi, like Jackal, like Lion find a lot of value on attack. As defenders, you find a lot of value as an operator such as Vigil, which is exactly what Groovy is bringing. Even though the Boss G has been nerfed, it's still quite the gun. And I mean, you've also got the sidearm of the SMG-12, which is usually used as your primary for most players.
100%. Job's not done on the roam clear. Ambi knows this. Savage is over by Medical. You've got a couple other players lurking around this top floor. Adrian still up here as well. But they're taking their time to clear this. And it pays off with the opening pick as Rexon finds Savage. That's the first cutoff that they were looking to secure. Still two more roamers. Will they hunt them down, or will Adrian and Joom fall off? It will be the second of the two options, but also hunted down. Nice from Canadian to find Joom.
Yeah, no kills so far from Team Secret, and we are almost 5 minutes into action. They have been held off the score sheet for a very, very long time. Groovy might be the first to connect as he lines up and takes down Canadian. That Boss G still does so much damage. You saw it there firsthand. Adrian gets one kill before being punished by Ambi, so it's all up to Groovy and Virtue. Virtue had a terrific first map. He's relatively absent for map number 2, despite Team Secret's success. He played his role as we imagined he'd play it, which is safe. Him getting all those kills in map number 1 is not normal. Two players to watch for this particular map, Groovy and Joom. Joom have a map 1 performance. Does Groovy have a strong performance? Virtue picked apart by Surf from that hatch. It leaves the man we were just talking about. Groovy is the last one standing. Diffuser in the hands of Shopify Rebellion, and they'll have 2 other players to hunt down the final remaining part of Team Secret. Groovy could get a shoulder check through the door frame here. Time is running out. They don't know his location or his whereabouts. Grixer will get Diffuser towards the halfway mark, and a terrific round from Ambi as it's a 2-0 start for Shopify Rebellion.
Hey, Bashi player. What starts with P and ends with O? Pablo. Good job, guys. Keep that shit up.
Very clean to start things off, and that will prompt attack timeout from
Very
Twister.
quick timeout.
I need you guys to make sure that you guys stay alive to play until that time. Even in a 3v1, they are still taking their time to go for this last second push. So please guys, this is the plan. Let's try to follow the plan the best that we can. Let's reinforce hatches if we need. Let's place more resources onto the base if we need for that. Let's help the friends that we have on the top floor for the walk-ins, because they're even splitting up. They're trying to walk into garage, for example, to pick up the fallback. That means that they don't have enough people on the top floor to be taking the positions as well. If you guys want to, we can put more resources and fight for that a little bit more. But holding positions, power positions is the key here. So yes.
I mean, that's the point. Like, they should not. They're not doing anything to clear, guys. Okay, like we can also stay on positions. Don't just play like pushes. Like if you're not clearing you guys, you're not clearing you guys. Like let's just stay on it.
First thing that Twister said in that attack timeout, I think, was the most important thing. They've got to stay alive to the late point of this round. Back-to-back now, we've seen Shopify Rebellion own the early part of the rounds and make sure that they can have that advantage going into the late round executes. It's still taking Shopify quite a bit of time to get to the bomb site. They're using all 3 minutes of that clock, and so what Twister's identifying is like, hey, if we can have more bodies alive late round inside the site, we're going to be able to repel those pushes. And perhaps if they want to go for a bit more of that early aggressive play as well, they can work together. They can start to move as a unit. They're identifying maybe some weakness, some lack of resources from Shopify up on that top floor when they're going for the roam clear. But regardless, they need to commit to something. Whether you commit to that roam game, have everybody there, trade out your roamers and win it in the early round, or whether you just rein players back into site very quickly, fall back, play that site setup, you've got to choose one, you've got to play together.
Rexon getting the opening kill in both rounds, which is great to see. He's bounced back from not a smaller performance on Bank, but he was quieter. He technically went negative. He was 10 and 11 in that match. Savage is still leading the way on the side of Team Secret. He has been stellar at a +9 with 31 kills. The only player who's above him in the standings right now is Ambi. He's the highest rated player in the lobby, sitting at 32 kills. Rexon is not that far behind at 28, despite the slower second map. On both teams, unfortunately, the wrong way that they've stood out. Surf is at 11 kills, which on the roles that he plays sometimes is quite normal and really isn't unideal. But there were opportunities for him to get kills, especially in map number 2, and he wasn't able to grab them. As for Team Secret, Adrian and Groovy are 2 players that you expect to get kills. Adrian maybe a bit less so. Groovy, you want him to get frags. They have struggled to do so up to this point. That's why I said the player to watch for me is going to be Groovy. If Groovy can finally wake up and match the gun skill of Shopify Rebellions, we know he's capable of it. If he can do it, and that alone might be a major difference maker. And I know for people who want a strategic deep dive into the issues that are afflicting these players, this might seem very simplistic. But sometimes all it comes down to is if somebody can't hit their shots and you're relying on them to get the opening kill, you're droning them in, they're trying to make space for you, you need them to get the kill, you need them to use gadgetry that you're providing to aid your team, and they continue to lose their engagements, they lose their entry. Well, everything else that you have planned doesn't necessarily matter.
I've seen a decent amount of Lair so far here at the Six Invitational. Through the couple of games that we've had, it has leaned somewhat towards the attacker side of things, and I think that's a little bit unintuitive because we see Lair as such a big map, and sometimes bigger maps can be a lot harder to clear as an attacking team. But Lair is almost too big to to be easily held down by the defenders. I want to use that basement bomb site kind of as an example. It's so huge that if you choose to commit to the roam, as Secret did in that previous round, it can be really hard to rotate, to trade out your teammates because you're trying to hold so much of the map, and it actually gets very easy for the attackers to find a way into that map and then catch you off guard where you're not expecting it, lurking around those top couple of floors. It's also harder than you would expect to find a clean rotate back down to the basement sometimes because there's not that many paths back towards the site. But at the same time, on the basement bomb site, if you choose not to roam and just play down inside the basement with all 5 players, all of a sudden the attackers get some really strong vertical pressure. They can bring a ram, they can absolutely rip up the floorboards. An office plant ends up being really simple for them. So there's almost no good answers to some of these bomb sites for the defenders, and for that reason, it really does lean towards the attack when you get good, experienced teams. When you see teams playing for the first time, when you see lower-level teams, the map does still lean more towards the defense, but I have found when watching Lair that if you get 2 good Lair teams going back and forth, the attackers do tend to come up on top, and especially for these 2 teams who have now had back-to-back-to-back-to-back 4-2 attacking halves, I wouldn't be so worried if I was Team Secret going down 0-2 early on the defense.
It's not time to panic just yet. I mean, Secret calling their timeout early should be some cause for concern. But we saw an early timeout as well in both of the previous maps. So don't panic just yet, but keep in mind that things are tough for you at the moment, especially on a map like Lair where the defenders should be sitting very pretty. This is a map that is very favorable to the defenders.
With certain teams.
Certain.
And again, with these 2, I would kind of assume that that would not be the case, but only time will tell.
I want another 15-rounder. This has been a terrific match between these 2 teams. Oh my. Survived in front of Rexen, and for a second there, my heart skipped a beat. No, not a team kill.
Not quite. This is Bunkton Briefing. It's one of my favorite bomb sites on this map. You really do have to play for the top floor. The vertical is so powerful. You can deny, I think, every single plant from up above. Some are easier than others, for sure, and with smokes, it can be awkward sometimes. But in theory, here's a run out from Savage. Nobody's there. In theory, you can deny all these plants. Adrian taking a bit of damage up top here. You can see Shopify focusing these players up above, but they actually strike first, and it's Ambi to fall.
If you're wondering what happened to the scores, the lobby was reset, so we'll try to do stat tracking on our own, but it will obviously be an imprecise art for the remainder of this map, just because we lost those first 2 rounds where the first round was won flawlessly by Shopify Rebellion. The second round very narrowly missed that mark. The Shopify Rebellion still persevered nonetheless. There are greater implications to this match, and the fact that Shopify Rebellion has now gone to map 3 on 2 separate occasions is actually not great for the standings with how tight this group is going to be. The elephant in the room is CAG. They won their matchup yesterday 2-0. They go up against FaZe Clan today. Depending on that result, it could spell trouble for everybody else in this group. Grixer answers back with a kill of his own. It's 30 seconds left on the clock. Right now, Shopify Rebellion struggling with the time. Diffuser going down. Canadian looks like he'll be able to pull it off. And it's a mad scramble in the post plant with Rexen holding 2 players to account on side of Team Secret. Adrian losing all that HP earlier in the round. He's still persevered, surviving with just a sliver of his life intact. Surf will claim what remains of it, and now it's Virtue. Superior player from map number 1, who went back to normal on map 2. He wasn't even on the same site. On the same floor, descending green stairs. Got a 3K from Rexen.
Shit on this guy. Let's go. Later. Good identification. Work these rounds.
3-0 by Shopify Rebellion.
All the time I have to get fucking basically flawless. They killed Ambi, so it doesn't matter.
They got fucking spanked.
That was uncalled for.
You're the best, Ambi. You're fucking awesome.
Focus up. 1 round at a time. You know what they say? You miss 100.
It's 100% of the shots you don't take, I think was the end of that quote. And listen, you got to be respecting Ambi after the numbers he was just putting up on Bank. That man saved you in a couple of different rounds. So I think it's all in jest, of course. That was really one of those rounds where Team Secret should have been able to do something about that plant that was going down. They didn't seem to know where it was. Canadian went in and he planted on the pillar. It's an elevated position, and he planted on the Blackbeard. So it would have been very difficult to deny it from above. In theory, I think it would have been possible, but maybe with the Blackbeard shield, there was no angle for it. Regardless, it didn't seem like Team Secret were even aware of the correct position. We saw the Nitro Cell go out. It did not go to the correct plant spot where Canadian was. So it feels like maybe a little that intel is missing from Team Secret. Maybe that communication is not coming through. They're still struggling in some of the early rounds. They did go for more of an aggressive early round that time. You saw the jump outs from Savage. You saw that opening pick from Adrian. There was a bit of life from them at the start, but it just didn't matter. They focused the objective, and Shopify Rebellion found another round that frankly started to look easy. I said that maybe this just will lean towards more of the attack, but how dominant these attacks have been, I don't know. Secret need to get something rolling soon.
Yeah, you're losing the plot on this map. You cannot win the first half at all. Best you can do is get 3 in a row of your own, tie it up, but then I think there's a credible argument that momentum would be pretty firmly on your side. It's worth noting that in Rainbow Six Siege, there is no momentum mechanic. There's no economy. There's nothing like that. So if you win a round, that's it. You basically reset and go to the next one. The only thing that could be said about momentum is about bomb site rotations. That's about it. In this instance right now, no bomb site is working for Team Secret whatsoever. They've been blanked on every single attempt that they have had to defend.
Which the silver lining means that no bomb sites are locked. They get the glory of choice.
Rexon trades with Adrian. Groovy trades that one right back, though. Candelas will go off. Groovy worried about a drone inside of the bathroom. He's sitting in server hallway. Now it's Savage tasked with the duel, but Grixer wins that fight. DMR's hit like a truck on LAN. Grixer showing him exactly how it's done. He doesn't lose any HP in the process. Canadian will have the diffuser. So we hit the halfway point in the round, and it'll be on the Blackbeard. So another plant attempt will likely unfold in front of our eyes. They're in pretty good shape right now, given the numbers for Team Secret. Virtue pounced upon by Surf. He's got the shotgun in the hands of Ying. All Candela's off, and there goes the smoke as he's inside a bathroom waiting for another member from Secret to bring him some heat.
Canadian working his way up the staircase now, pairing up with Surf. Ambi's not far behind him. Grixer holding the cross. They're going to go for a plant inside of Mask. Joom is in the site. That's his outline there. But he's the last player alive on the side of Team Secret. The nade forces him back. He's got to find some kind of an opening. But against the Blackbeard, what can you do? Shot in the back from Surf, and it just looks so clean from Shopify.
The round! 0-0! Let's go! You see that? The pace was perfect.
Bro, listen, 0-0, score don't matter, guys. Keep fucking touch with that, bro.
Oh, I love you saying that. That's what I just did to this guy. Actually,
I love you saying that, Pop. Keep going, keep going.
Hey, Emby, come on.
Counting the rehost. It's at 3 kills right now. Maybe 4. But no more than 4 kills for Team Secret at the moment.
I thought you were talking about a player for all of Team Secret. Wow. It's been a tough game.
It's been a very bad game for Secret.
It's been a very bad game for Secret. And again, I don't think that Shopify are doing anything too crazy. They had Surf jumping in with the Ying into the bathroom. That was cool. There was a Sens play down on the bottom lobby, and that was, valuable for sure. But at the end of the day, it's still swings coming out over towards operations. Those are getting punished time and time again. It really feels like Shopify are doing the basics. They're doing them extremely well. They're doing them in their style with certain operators that look flashy for sure, but Team Secret, they're not playing together. They're not getting these trades. They're not stopping Shopify from getting any of the space that they want to take. At some point, this train's got to turn around, or the 45-round game that I want is
Hold on
operating.
Jesse, I know you're from Alberta, so public transit doesn't exist, but trains don't just turn around.
Well, they can. You need a big old loop. It's difficult, but it's possible.
And that's what you chose to use your analogy with?
Because it's going to be difficult for Team Secret to turn this game around. You're down 0-4 against Shopify Rebellion. It's map 3 in a best of 3. Your first game at the Six Invitational. The pressure could not be higher. A tall task.
By the time the train turns around, it'll be tomorrow's matches.
And that would be the result for Secret. They've got to do it faster than that.
Well, it would be quite a sight to see. Shopify Rebellion have had their a pretty leisurely day. 4 kills. Adrian and Groovy both had a kill apiece before the rehost, so 4 kills through 4 rounds for Team Secret is just frankly not going to cut it in any universe whatsoever. A flawless round occurred all the way back in round number 1. The only kill that happened in round number 3 was Adrian getting the leadoff pick, and then everything else was Shopify Rebellion. They are doing this on attack on Lair. Yesterday's match against FaZe Clan was incredibly memorable. This one against Secret, doubly so, but I fear if we want to call this the best match that we've seen at the event so far, we're going to need a tighter third map, because right now, Shopify Rebellion running away with it, that's not good for the storyline. Groovy picks off Ambi. Goodbye to the Jackal. Ambi's entries have been very good. He's on a operator well suited for that in Jackal. Not any longer. This round is seemingly taking forever, Jesse. There's 1 minute left, and, well, not a lot has happened.
Yeah, well, they took the space they needed up above Lab. They can start to go for a plant now once they've got this top floor control, but they didn't full clear all the roamers. There are still players that can go for a flank. Savage is just around the corner, so do watch out for him. But as his execute comes in through missile, through this side of the warehouse, part of the map, it's going to be chaotic in this late round push, just as Twister predicted.
There goes the last of the logic bomb. So any information gained off of that gadget is good and gone. Groovy was on a single point of HP. Canadian finds him. Now it's Adrian to take some damage. It's Rexon, hunts for something inside the lockers. Joom gets the down and secures onto Grixer. Rexon bursting forward. Obscured by the F-mine and now worried about that toxic babe behind him. Savage dies, another rushes up. Rexon is just too good at the moment. He's being hounded by Gadgetry, but it doesn't mean anything to him. Canadian will need to start the plant with just about 2 seconds left. Adrian and Joom are last 2 alive. Canadian persevering for the time being. And Adrian dies to his own team's fire. No, what a blunder!
Let's go! Huge! Let's go!
Did you see that?
Huge!
Hello?
Good shit!
Standing in his own fire!
Let's go!
Okay, 0-0 now.
If I may borrow your train analogy, it's not about turning this train around. It's about stopping a runaway train, because Shopify Rebellion is barreling down the tracks at a speed nobody can slow down right now.
Yes, sir, Paul. Sir, yes, sir!
This has been one of the most dominant maps that we have seen through 2 days at the Six Invitational. It's heartbreaking for Team Secret fans. You came 3 minutes away from winning map number 1. You squeeze out a victory on map number 2, giving so much hope to your fans and the rest of your team.
Let's go! That's how we earn it!
Only to get blown out 5-0 so far here on Lair. That is a disastrous start. And you've already used your timeout.
Yeah.
There's no parachute to pull for Team Secret. You are in free fall.
How have we got a map like this after how the first 2 went down? Felt like we were going to go 45 the distance. Now we're just hoping to get to 8. Secret, the 7-0 is looming. 5-0 for this first half. One more opportunity to win just a single defense. On a map like Lair, I mean, bare minimum, we're talking here. Canadian will jump on Fuse with no shield. It'll be Fuse with the AK. A rare operator and an even rarer primary weapon to come out. It's going to be used to counter the bandit tricking. I like this a lot. Joom tried to hide in the prep phase. If you caught that, he was trying to avoid the drones, but Canadians read into it, and so this is going to be a very difficult task. Joom shouldn't die to this. It's very loud. It's a long timer, but he will have to move as soon as Canadian launches off with this utility. He's waiting for his teammates to apply some pressure up above. EMP goes out, so does the cluster charge and the breach.
Joom gets 1 and gets away with his life.
Wow.
No damage done, such as the rhythm of opening up a wall. The cluster charge used effectively to shake the bandit off of that position. More map control is gained. He's got Joom on the run at this point.
They've hardly touched the top floor. It's mostly just Ambi who's really just setting up these air jabs. Unless Adrian wants to push up into that, it's unlikely to result in a kill.
Virtue and Savage still sitting on 0 kills through this matchup, not just because of the rehost, but before in those 2 rounds that transpired before we had to redo the lobby as well. Surf is 6-0, a significantly better game than on Clubhouse where he was 0-6. We're not Clubhouse, Bank. A nice trade back and forth. Savage dies, Adrian with yet another kill. Ambi is subdued. Now it's Grixer's turn to get into the action, losing the duel to Groovy, who might have a second kill lined up through the window. Fire arrow goes out. It prompts Groovy to move forward a bit more. He has to deal with Surf. All the while, the defuse kit going down. Canadian dropped. Adrian sees right through that. That's the power of the Warden. Surf was outside of the building. Rexon closing in on the site. Now it's Surf to get closer to him. Troubling signs for Shopify Rebellion and their worst round yet unfolding in front of our eyes. Joom out-dueled. Surf out-dueled, rather, by Joom. What an oddly paced execute as Rexon just twists and turns. Very little that he can do. 5 kills to his name. It's good, but Team Secret wins the round. A bit of a head-scratcher, but they're on the board. No 6-0, no impossible climb for Team Secret.
Round 8 secured.
Will it be a big joke?
Will it be a big choke? Uh-oh.
For the record, it would need to be an enormous choke at this point.
Surely there's no way, Parker. That Shopify Rebellion will choke a 5-0 lead. Don't be ridiculous. I like this round from Team Secret altogether. I mean, Joom playing on that Bandit, the fact that he committed to the trick was really bold. I'm not sure it made the biggest difference because they got the wall open right after with another Selma charge, but even still, keeping his life alive, making sure they could stall out a bit more time so the top floor players could do their job, get their kills. Once again, it was Team Secret that were going for those swings, as it has been since the half started. They wanted to make those engagements happen. They wanted to go for those aggressive swing outs, but there were at least trades this time. We were watching Ambi. Yes, he got that first pick, but then the second pick eludes him. He ends up going down. It's that trade game from Team Secret that really was lacking for the first 5 rounds of this game. They get some feet underneath them and give themselves a lifeline as they do not go up against match point yet. But
yet
now
is
they've
the
got
key
to
word
attack.
there.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to win. If you don't want overtime, 6 attacks in a row, at least 5 of these rounds.
A 5-1 first half is quite rare across all of the top level of Rainbow Six Siege. A 5-1 first half when the 5 is done by the attackers on Lair is exceptionally rare. And now Secret is going to have to repeat that same score line if they want to go to overtime. Honestly, with the way these teams have played through Clubhouse and then Bank, I wouldn't put it past both Secret picking up the pace and Shopify Rebellion falling off a tiny bit. These two teams have really struggled to outpace one another. But something feels a bit different about Lair so far. Maybe the tide turned with that final round of the first half. Or maybe it was just a bad round by Shopify Rebellion and things will go back to where they were just moments before that, with Rebellion in the driver's seat.
Ambi's got to be careful. He is being hunted by a couple of these players on Team Secret. They know where he's at, obviously droned him out. They start to give it up. They get red pinged, and actually these players are going to retreat back up the filter stairs. Leave Ambi alone. They think, okay, he's too far gone. He is all the way to the other side of the map. This angle Joom is holding is not relevant. This Ambi is all the way in electrical at the moment. So he is miles away on that basement floor. Watch out for a late round flank. It's going to be very late, of course, playing down here. He probably will just try to deny the diffuse kit from going down from below. It probably won't even be a flank all the way to the top floor.
This wall will be opened up completely clear as there's no tricking to be had by Surf. Adrian shrugging off an awful lot of damage. Virtue taking some damage from the Selmas as they explode in front of him. Which site do they plant in? That's the question.
I mean, Virtue just went back to the roof. He is in no hurry to plant.
With 1 minute to go, he better be able to get towards the objective as quickly as he can. Ambi on the flank. No! Ambi cut off by Savage, who was a little bit late to the party, but his timing is perfect. Down goes Joom at the hands of Rexon. Groovy looking for one more. It's Adrian punishing Rexon now as that smoke wall from Sens fades. Grixer on the ground with shotgun out. He's in close range. And it looks like it'll be a rotate from Virtue yet again. Grixer eking up. Savage tearing through him. A double kill as a Nitro cell from Canadian goes out. The team captain's found 2 kills so far in this round. He has to evade the fire. The smoke there as well, cutting off his line of sight. Shotgun goes out. He doesn't get the down on the Capital. He gets Groovy though for his trouble, and now it's Surf and Savage in a 1v1. Savage planting in the corner. Surf needs to play this time effectively, charging on in, but he won't get off of the plant tucked into the corner. Surf's got a good idea about this. The smoke goes. No Nitro cell to be had through the smoke. He'll look for it to clear. He does some damage and gets the down. Surf taking a moment to revel in his own play as the smoke clears. Taunting Team Secret as it's an easy counter disable. Shopify Rebellion moved a series point.
0-0, by the way. 0-0.
That's going to be repeated till this game ends. 0-0 all the way. That mentality is the reason why one of these mentals is broken and one of them is not. You know, when Canadian and Surf got added to this roster over the summer,
Remember the BP swap?
they raised a lot of eyebrows. People got really excited, mostly about Canadian. Oh, I mean, he's the GOAT, right? Canadian, the 2-time from North America. And he's been fantastic. And even in this round, he was amazing for Shopify Rebellion. But it's Surf to step up in the last final pickup alongside Canadian, the 2vx, the 1v1, just throwing those bullets out, finding Savage, making sure the 1vx can't happen. And he's the GOAT. He was their best player back at the Montreal Major. And now he's doing it again here in Boston.
One thing players that don't, or rather, one thing that players on all systems, to specify here, have to be very careful with what I'm about to say, don't know if you're not playing with good headphones, is that when you hit a body, there's a very distinct sound. If somebody is in the smoke and you hit them with a bullet, and you've got your headset on and you've got your sound tuned correctly, you will hear that you have hit a body.
Yeah.
That's how Surf knew that he'd made contact. So he swept through it again. He got the down, he heard the bullet once more, and he fired away into the smoke under where he believed the target was, and it connected. I say this because there's a lot of people who play this on console, who play it through TV speakers, and don't necessarily have the same setup, and might be asking, well, how do you know?
Yeah.
That's how you know. If you play this game with headphones on versus if you play it through a TV speaker, it's a completely different experience.
While Team Secret have to do the impossible, make us believe in them once again. They looked so good an hour ago, 2 hours ago. This has been one hell of a series, but you can't let it end like this. They've got to get some attacks under their belt. It needs to be 5 in a row plus overtime. It will be bunks and briefing. Shopify not trusting that basement bomb site. A lot of teams really don't think it's strong enough for the reasons I outlined earlier. Kind of put into a difficult situation, a rock and a hard place, whether you roam or not.
It's hard to glean much from the way that the bomb site rotation went in the first half, just solely because Shopify Rebellion were so dominant. I mean, you can't really look at that and say, oh, obviously the site didn't work. Both bottom floor bomb site defenses by Team Secret fell short. You're right, where do you go? What's the rotation here?
Every single player is above, as you'd expect, with the one exception of Ambi, who's playing Sight on Solus. Would be able to guide his teammates as to where that defuse gets going down, but won't necessarily be able to get the vert pick himself. Logic bombs come out to clear the top floor.
It's enough to push Groovy back. One Toxic Babe remains in the pocket of Canadian with 1 minute left. Those things last for about 15 seconds or so. The last one's gone, which means 45 seconds into the round, or 45 seconds left on the round. You're not going to have any toxic coverage. Canadian taking matters into his own hands, not just working well with his objectives, but also with that SMG-11 out, taking down Adrian. Now it's Ambi getting a bit restless. As the logic bombs go off, that's good intel for Team Secret, but can they act on it? Joom's got the diffuser, but everybody except Ambi is above, and he doesn't know if he's got safe harbor. Canadian finds a second kill, a third kill from the oldest man in the game, and it's a flawless end to the match. You blink and you miss it.
Who get close? Who get close? Oh my God!
If we play our game, we'll win, Super said, and if Super says it, it must be true. 7-1 for Shopify Rebellion. Map 1 took all 15 rounds. Map 2, the same. Map 3, it was a blowout for the North Americans.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're back. North America reigning supreme here on the second day of Boston. Beautifully played. I mean, it's a little too short for Team Secret. They played fantastic those first two. I really want to reiterate how high level of this game was. The attacks that we saw on Clubhouse and Bank from both teams looked beautiful. But on Lair, it was clear where the difference laid.
Team Secret still got a couple more matches to play. They had the day off yesterday, and this might not be the debut at SI they wanted, but they still gave us a masterclass on at least 2 maps. But it's been North America's day here in North America. What awaits us in our final map, in our final series? We'll find out when we come back from the break.
Ouais, choc-les, choc-les, ouais, choc-les, 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 ouais, voilà ce qu'ils me disent, les entends parler et ils maîtrisent, j'arrête que pour rafler la mise, petit pas sur la piste, et le succès je l'ai pisté, disent que la place du premier, je fais monter la côté, sur moi tu mises gros, tu connais déjà l'équipe, ça criera au complot, je prends le double, on est quitté, je fais la magie des chiffres, la somme je la triple, la concurrence la dribble, et le stade est en délire, ça fait choquer, j'arrive pour tous les choquer, toute la foule elle est choquée, j'espère que t'es accroché, gauche, droite, esquive rageux, coach m'a rajouté du temps de jeu, dans l'action, ouais je me sens en feu, je suis on fire, je fais la différence au compteur, money time, ça shoot sur le buzzer, je suis on fire, choqué, j'arrive pour tous les choquer, toute la foule elle est choquée, j'espère que t'es accroché, choqué, j'arrive pour tous les choquer, toute la foule elle est choquée, j'espère que t'es accroché.
I'm here with a man that needs absolutely no introduction, Canadian. That was probably one of the wildest reactions I've ever seen. I was going to interview Ambi, and then I saw that reaction. Tell me what that feeling's like.
Just proving people wrong, man. They were typing in chat a whole lot, even getting at me personally, and I don't know, I live for that, so I was just reading the chat, just thinking, oh, I'm gonna show these. I can't say it. I'm gonna show them though, and yeah, I had 2 good rounds in the end, closed the game out. I love to compete, and when the other team's talking trash, like, I enjoy it, but it fuels me, man. It fuels me. So, I love it.
What were you saying in those moments? What was, for the viewers that couldn't hear it at home, what were the words?
I don't even remember. They said something in game about eight years, and I still can't close out games. I can't lead my team to close out games. And I said something along the lines of 8 years, and I'm still dropping my nuts on your forehead. So yeah, that, and who told me you can't close. Yeah.
It's got to be a good feeling. But 8 years, however, you're the only player here at our site, with 2 hammers. I mean, are we looking for a third? Is it feeling like this is the team that could bring you that trifecta?
We're in the shape to do it. I think we're capable of beating any team here. I think we know that. We just have to play our game, and I'm not going to even lie. Like, we've had problems closing out games, early on with this team. I think that's part of experience, though. Like, we're getting in good spots constantly, and just, not feeling the pressure of, like, all right, now we got to close it, and just getting the job done. And I think that last map, I think, was a great example of it. I think the guys maintained the mindset of 1 round at a time and just play the next round.
It's probably a good segue for the game yesterday against FaZe. Yeah. I got to ask you, really close game. Yeah. 1, what were the vibes after the game? But 2, what was the main takeaway?
We were really proud of how we played overall. Obviously, you don't want to lose. You never want to lose. But the last time we played FaZe, we got 7-4 and 7-0'd. So, we went from only winning 4 rounds in 2 maps to, bring them the distance. 7-5 every map, going 3 maps. Like, that's nothing to scoff at, and they're a really good team. And we felt we were in control most of that game. We didn't close, all the rounds we wanted to, but that's part of how it goes. And you just have to have that experience and get it out of the way and just be confident that you can get over that hump.
All right, man. Best of luck for the rest of the tournament. I love your work.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Appreciate it.
Super interesting human. That's the only way I could put it. Being in that room, I don't know how much you could see on stream. My God, it was an interesting aftermath from what was a super competitive match until the 3rd map, Lax. Unfortunately, it just fell short.
I said it was a battle of attrition, but what it really came down to of this last map was a battle of exhaustion. And where we saw the exhaustion set was definitely in Secret's playstyle, and the Shopify Rebellion absolutely just dismantled every last little bit of hope that Secret could have going into that Lair.
I thought it was pretty expected just because of how the map is set up. I do think Secret had the gunplay, but when it comes to a map like Lair, it's not really all like what it's about. It's very isolated, a lot of tight hallways, and there was not really many situations where Secret could get the opening. They were getting shut down very well, and everybody on Shopify Rebellion was playing amazing. Specifically, gotta shout out Surf. After those first 2 maps, gotta shout him out, curse him a little bit, but he came alive map 3, and he was a pivotal player in their final map.
And Troy, getting those 2 big kills in the end right there. I mean, for a 35-year-old, he's not actually 35, but he was putting up numbers as well. It's good for the IGL to be bouncing in there, getting those numbers, putting numbers on the board, and sealing the deal for the team and pushing them into another match that we're going to be seeing tomorrow.
Oh, well,
That's a typical Troy. That face expression, that yelling, that shaking off a headset, that has been it's been here since day 1.
Yes.
Hallmark.
So sometimes the trash talk, you think you got it when you're up, and it just bites you. Like, you just don't understand how it fuels other players, other teams, especially a player like Troy. I mean, you give him the opportunity, and I'm sure he said some very colorful words back to them to let them know just how bad it feels.
Look, Surf can't even believe. He's like, wow, you said that? Wow.
Oh, God. It was, I got to say, one thing that I think everyone will enjoy at home. Obviously, you don't get to hear all the shenanigans behind the scenes, but I'm pretty sure Surf comes up and goes, you were a sprinkler after that anyway.
I mean, I was just saying, in terms of the IGL, Canadian, 100% cost, 9-3. If you were going to seal the deal in a 7-1 and make a statement and close out the entire series, that is exactly how you do it.
Got to be careful which beast you wake up. There's no 2 ways about it. But Fox, we were talking about him, Surf, obviously on the back of a super tough series. I know you've been in these positions of playing, maybe not in Surf's position where you're really tanking the first 2 maps, but you pick it up on the third. How is it to go through that kind of progression in such a long, arduous match?
I mean, it's very difficult, so shout out to him for being able to come out on the top on the other end of it. I mean, I think Troy even said it at the end, it's a mental battle at the end of the day. The more rounds that you lose, the more rounds that you're not getting kills, it definitely holds to your head. You think about it constantly, and it digs you in a hole to where you're taking gunfights or putting yourself in positions that are never going to really win you the fight anyway. So to just wipe that off and still know that they had control over the series, even in the FaZe game, even when they were down, I think it says a lot about their mentality. And I think Troy's right. He does have the best team, I guess, set up around him to be able to go for that hammer run.
Yeah, Lax, there were so many moments throughout this series.
Yeah,
it was very entertaining, but there's only one, The Detail by Blacklight, and I think it's very obvious which one it was.
Yeah, I think everyone already knows what we're going to pick here. It was on bank. It was Ambi's ace. I mean, you know, when you're in this situation as a player and you fumble some of your shots and you start panicking, he was immediately snapped right back into reality, brought it back, hit a 180, smoked 4 people right after that. Honestly, I think that's the best clip that we have so far here at Invite yet.
No, he was fired up. That first shot, right, just tees up. Like, you know, after he got that first shot, he's like, oh, I'm cooking right now. The 180 to just everybody lines up. Oh, that
it was the beginning for me. When you're in those moments as a player and you just whiff the easiest shots, your heart sinks. But the fact that he was able to bring it back, turn it into an ace, I mean, that was impressive. And he's the youngest here. He's a fresh 18-year-old.
He is absolutely wild. Again, showing unbelievable moments throughout this series. It's one that you didn't want to miss. However, I do say this with my whole heart. This next matchup is something that you will not believe. CAG goes up against a former grand finalist. That would have been interesting. However, they have already beaten the SI winners from last year. Last night, CAG go up against FaZe. It's up after this.
Tap, tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go.